Good morning, everybody.
Oh, hi
Jesus,
there.
you're blowing a bottle? That's you blowing a bottle, right?
Yeah. That's what I'm doing.
But you went to the Yankees game last night?
Yeah, what a disaster.
Did you get the seats?
Oh, yeah.
You got the seats.
I got the legend seating.
From our ticket lady who
Yes.
doesn't like when we talk about her. She
fucking
rules.
wonderful.
You got
She's
the
so
seats.
cool.
She's very cool.
Yeah.
I like her a lot, even though I
Great
beat the shit out of
time.
her, you know.
And, yeah, she's just fucking great.
Yeah.
And then amazing tickets right behind the plate. It was fantastic.
I want to go. It's supposed to be fun there,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Just say the word and you
It's
get the
good.
seats. We get the seats. They're really nice.
And I noticed...
I hate the Yankees and I love going there.
Then I noticed I was on the camera behind the
Oh,
plate.
no.
Right.
So I decided to. I wanted to. First, I was too far. I was one seat out of camera range.
Right.
I'm like, son of a bitch, man. So I had to keep doing stuff like going out into the aisle to tie my shoe.
Right.
So I'd be out there and just staring at the camera when they were batting. And I was still, like, tweeting it. So people were like, oh, there you are.
So,
poking my head out.
so there's someone out there that tapes the games.
Oh, I'm sure.
We got to get a little video together.
Yeah, I was.
You got to get a little video together. What were some of the things you did?
I took my Bud bottle and I blew it. I just started blowing my Bud bottle.
Wait, how did you know that you were one seat off? How could you tell?
When I went in to take a piss in the Legends section there, there's screens. You know, there's regular TV playing the game.
And you're like, wait a minute. That's the guy I'm sitting next
Yeah.
to.
So I'm like, all right, that seat, that one.
Oh,
I go,
wow.
The railing is completely visible. So, so there I am. I'm like tying my shoe, and I'm like, if I just peek out, so that's a picture of me tying my shoe and peeking up when
That's great.
when it came on
That's
camera.
great.
So
I would love to see video of this.
So I did that, and then I kept going down all the way to the front and throwing away garbage because there was a garbage pail there.
Yeah.
And no one throws away their shit. Yeah, there's me getting my garbage, throwing my garbage away.
Where? Where are you throwing your garbage?
There's a garbage pail right by that wall.
Why would they have a garbage pail way down there?
I don't know. But I kept doing it. And then until the security guy, I had a handful of new garbage, and I got out of my seat. He goes, I'll take that, sir. I'm like, oh, fuck.
Oh, they had enough of you?
They had enough of me.
They were onto you.
Popping my mug onto that fucking camera.
You're going to ruin it. You're going to ruin it for the rest of us.
I'm going to ruin it.
Don't ruin
really
the
funny.
seat thing.
No, they had no problem with
That's funny.
what I was doing at the seat.
So what? You were blowing beer bottles. What else?
Blowing the beer bottle. I made a couple of chip faces.
What's that?
I made a couple of chip faces.
Yeah.
Right there. You see, those are the seats. It's like really close.
Yeah, but the thing is, you're behind the plate. That's no good.
Right?
Jesus.
It was amazing. There's that Santa Claus guy that's always back there, some crazy-haired fucking bearded dude. And then, who else was there? Robert Hall.
Oh, Robert Hall.
Robert Hall.
We had him on the show
Robert
once.
Hall was there.
He was kind of a bust on our show, let's be honest.
Yeah.
And I like Robert Hall.
And the waitress is good. Yeah, there I am blowing the beer. I'm just looking up. I'm looking up at the camera going, whoa. That was great.
I want to see video of that.
That was fun.
Someone has it. The race is on. Who tapes games?
Yeah.
Who does that nowadays?
Fine. Post a fucking Instagram or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
it was fun. Yankees, fucked it up, of course. We're doing well. I don't know why they do that. They pull the fucking pitcher when he's doing fine.
Because they're counting the pitchers.
I know.
Pitches. 1, 2, 3, 48.
He's doing fine, and they just don't have fucking Rivera anymore.
So they blew it?
Yeah. So they blew the fucking.
What was the score in the Yankee pitcher?
They had a 2-1 lead.
Is amazing. Dave Sims is great, by the way. He explained the flub yesterday, saying that in the rush of excitement.
Oh, okay. I don't know what that is. Maybe we can find it too. I thought it was a John Sterling phone call, home run call.
The fact that they're fucking pulling pitchers just because lefty righty, it's so irritating.
Terrible. There was no reason.
What inning did they pull him?
I think it was the seventh.
Seventh. They go the seventh and eighth of the bullpen.
It just sucked. It was like, and then they, then the A's just, crack. There goes balls flying out into the field.
Why are you talking about baseball in June?
I don't know. There's no reason. It was just fun to go to the game. I could give a shit at this point.
Does what's his name? Geronimo Barolo. Does he still play? I think that's how you say his name. Does he still play for the A's? Do you remember that name at all?
Oh man.
Okay,
yeah,
I just
so.
He's just a Yankee fucking murderer. It wouldn't surprise me if he's the one that
was.
Baseball is I don't know. It's kind of interesting. When we were growing up and we didn't have anything except for a couple of TV channels. Baseball seemed way more important.
Yeah.
You would go to the beach and you would hear someone listening to the game, and even though it was June, it was for whatever reason it was important.
It deemed it important.
But there's so much shit going on now. It's really hard to grasp a game being important in June.
Yeah.
Right?
To watch it for so long. The game's just long sometimes.
And it's a long, and
there was a rain delay too last night. It was supposed to start at 7. They started about 8:30.
Oh.
How dare they?
Bastards.
Do you start panicking though when you know you got to get up in the morning? You're like,
Yeah, it was,
fuck.
But
I was staying in the city, so it wasn't that bad.
And you like staying up late anyway.
I don't care.
You got that weird. You got that weird sleep schedule.
Yeah, I napped after the show yesterday, so
right.
I was all geared up.
Do you drive there?
No, take the choo-choo.
Oh, you do. Okay.
The D.
The D.
You go right up there on the D.
The D.
Where does it? Where do you get it from in New York? In the
pretty much anywhere.
50, yeah, it's like right downstairs from here.
Pretty much anywhere.
It takes you right to
the west
Yankee
side.
Stadium?
Yeah,
right to the front door.
Right to the stadium.
Right there. And it's an
convenient.
express.
Yeah,
but you got a lot of Yankee fans.
Oh, it's packed.
Packed with
Yankees.
Train.
You're just
Yankee fans
standing there. There's people next to you.
I like taking, you don't like taking the subway? I love
really.
going on the subway.
I don't
for real because I love
mind it. But
I love
like
people
it.
watching.
Yeah.
Every time you get on the subway, there is some strange birds to look at.
I don't mind if I could fucking get a seat and then just
chill,
mind my own business until we get to wherever we're going.
Right.
But that whole standing in a packed subway car
and holding on to a greasy rail,
that greasy fucking rail. It's terrible.
But then every once in a while you bump into a boob or something. That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I was pressed up against a girl's ass one time on the train. It only happened to me like once in my life.
Were you grinding?
No, I was standing there, but the train, that little jostling around.
Yes.
And she didn't move, and I'm like, does she like my dick against her? Like,
I
was totally.
God, you fucking.
Did you have a little something in there?
Yeah, it was. I wouldn't say
fillage.
It wasn't full,
right.
But let's just say I was a half a slug.
Oh, half a slug.
Yeah,
half a slug.
Nice thick slug.
Nice.
She had to notice, though. And do women just block that out like they're used to on the train?
No, I don't think they want that.
I mean, I don't know. I
would assume the majority of women do not want a penis pushed up against their ass from a stranger while they're trying to get to work or something.
But I didn't move against her. She backed against me.
But what I'm saying is I'm sure there's a few that absolutely enjoy it. You might have just found one of those women that enjoy it. But I think in general, they really don't want you pushing their penises up against them in public spaces.
I think on a crowded, train. I think on a crowded train, though, it's very hard to tell if someone's
what body part it is,
inappropriate, or it's just a full train doing that. Yeah,
right.
I don't know.
Anyway, so you enjoyed your baseball game?
It was good. It's that whole thing with the. She hooks us up.
Man, does she? It's just fun to go there. I got to take my young son to the game.
Son. And she fucking takes you right downstairs to the dining room.
Right.
There's, like, eating fucking king crab legs and steak and just a fucking load of nice food.
What time do you get there?
Nice and early.
Yeah.
Wait, you went to the restaurant?
Yeah.
The restaurant is this sickest thing ever.
Amazing.
It's like they have a whole seafood section with fresh clams and lobster and shrimp and whatever you can imagine. Then they have a sushi section. Then they have a carving station. Then they have a pasta station. And it's some of the best food you're going to get in all of New York. I'm telling you, it's amazing.
So good.
A lot of people, they don't even go out to the game until like the 4th or 5th inning because they're just stuffing their faces. Because it's all you can eat, right? If you get those tickets.
Yep. You just get in there and let her rip. Keep filling up.
It's so worth it.
You could go, Jimmy.
I don't know to go with. I'll go by myself. They'd be like, who's that boy watching baseball by himself?
Yeah.
We should all go. We should do a little field trip to Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, it would be fun.
That would be fun, right?
Everybody. Everyone. Did you just do something, Mars? Okay, that's much better. Well, I was a little worried.
Oh, yeah, you do sound...
Yeah. Thank you.
People...
I'm now good.
People did not understand the whole mic thing yesterday. They thought we were
Mike?
We turned it into a bit, but the fact is we could not broadcast. Ant's mic sounded like shit on this end.
It's just what I was putting into it. Garbage in, garbage out.
It sounds fine on this end. Why'd you waste so much time with that? I paid for this.
I paid for... I earned that show.
I paid for this.
Oh, could they hear it okay? We didn't know that.
It doesn't matter if they could hear it okay. And first of all, it had nothing to do with me, you assholes.
Oh, boy.
Anthony had a mic problem yesterday, and it was a major problem on this end.
Yeah.
It was very distracting.
Yeah, but it is. It doesn't matter if it sounds good going out. If we can't hear it properly, it's very hard to do the show. It's distracting.
Right. You know, we need just certain things to broadcast. Yeah. We need our headphones to sound, like they do every day.
Every ding-dong day.
And the mic needs to sound exactly the same every day. And for some reason, and you could talk to any radio guy, this is across the board. If those two things, if one of those things is a little off, it really, for whatever reason, fucks you up.
Just throws you,
It just throws off the whole rhythm and the show. So
I would equate it to somebody maybe working in an office setting.
Right.
And every day they come in and their chair is at a different height.
Right.
Like it would be like, well, it's still a chair and it's in front of my desk.
Right.
I should be able to do my job. But you'd be annoyed. You'd be like, this is too low.
And you can't adjust it.
Right. You can't adjust it.
That's the problem.
Right.
If Mars adjusted your mic and got it back on track, then whatever.
But imagine that. You go into work, you sit down, and your chair is way too tall.
Right.
Or it's way too short.
But I think we were feeling a little guilty yesterday. That's why we stayed 45 minutes late.
Yes.
we knew we owed him something.
We finished strong.
Between the mic thing and the Lady Di phone call.
Oh, God.
We're like, you know what, maybe we should stay late today and give him something. That T.I. hour was amazing. He was so much fun.
Yeah, he was fun. He's the real deal.
I think we have a new friend. I think he'll come back from time to time when he's in the area. I want to thank Who Kid again.
Yeah,
he was the one that made that happen, and it was just so much fun. We'll have to throw that out on the podcast, I think.
Just say excuse me if you step on his foot, or
what happened?
Brush past him.
Oh,
well, he'll
with the Mayweather thing.
He'll pop you in the head.
Did Mayweather step on his foot?
I don't know what their beef is.
Yeah, he didn't really explain that.
But that whole respect thing.
That's scary, man.
A whole weird thing going on.
I was thinking about that all
community.
day yesterday. That respect thing. Which I get to a point. I think most guys get that to a point.
Yeah.
But those people, Jesus, they seem to take it a bit further than Whitey.
It really is,
right?
Yeah. For the most part.
I don't think Whitey takes it as far as some other groups.
For the most part, you just kind of say, that guy's an asshole. He didn't say excuse me. He fucking stepped on my foot. Whatever.
Yeah.
But like in some segments of the black community, that is you get a sound thrashing for it.
Right.
You get beaten.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Yeah.
With T.I. yesterday?
Yeah.
That's a lot of pressure to live under, man. Like every single thing you do, like if it's not you don't hit it right, you're going to get fucking punched in the face or whatever. Worse.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's just
seems like
weird,
a crazy way to live.
Yeah.
You're right?
I don't know.
Just too much shit going on.
How much fun was that, though?
It was a ball.
Yeah, it was good.
It was so much fun. Really was a lot of fun. Anyway, I have to admit, I did a girly thing yesterday. I sort of was telling you before the show.
Yeah.
It's obvious to everyone that I'm getting my fucking body back and shit.
Some of us never think you lost it.
Okay.
Go.
It's obvious to everybody.
Yeah, your shirts are getting snugger. They're tucked in the front, all cocky like they used to be.
Although my new shirt is a nice stain.
Nice stain.
What the fuck is that?
Oh, gee.
So, I have 2 herniated discs, and I had a nice little setback where I pulled out my back a little bit.
Yeah.
But with this new trainer, he's fixing my core, so when my back pulls out, it's not as bad. But it still fucking hurts a lot. So I went to the trainer yesterday, and I can't work out, I can't lift. So we're doing like light stretching when I want to be lifting a fucking house, because I'm almost there. I'm almost there.
Stretching.
I'm like 5 pounds away from where I want to be, and I've been at this since like February, and I had to start off really slow. So there we are, just light stretching, so my back feels a little better.
Yeah.
So then I went home and did a girly thing. Sorry to the girls out there, but we have these massive fucking chocolate chip cookies at home that I got from my brother's party over the weekend out east on Long Island.
Do tell.
And they've been sitting there for...
Sounds scrumptious.
I said it's a girly thing. I warned you. So then these cookies have been sitting in our house for 4 days, and I'm like, I'm not fucking touching these things. But after the light stretching with the trainer when I want to be working out, I went home and I took one of those cookies. I put it in the microwave to heat it up just nice.
Ooh.
To get it all soft and gooey.
Right.
Moment on the hips, lifetime lips. I fucked up.
Oh, God, did you fuck up?
I'm glad I did.
And then I sat there. This cookie is easily as big as my fist. It's one of these easily as big as my fist. It's like a monster cookie. It's probably the equivalent of having 6 to 8 cookies.
Wow, damn.
And then I'm thinking it's got to be at least 800 to 1,000 calories in this one cookie. So I warm it up all nice.
Either, right?
No exaggeration, swear to you. And then I sat there on the couch like, God, I can't believe I'm admitting this, but pretty much feeling sorry for myself because my back is out and I can't work out. And I'm just like, I might as well have been crying. I might as well have been crying with every bite. Comfort food, right? I need comfort food.
Were you not enjoying it because you just kept thinking about what it was doing to you?
And for whatever reason, I was like, what are you doing? But I ate every last fucking bite.
Every delicious crumb.
Yeah.
Seconds away from just breaking down like a little girl. You didn't ask me to the prom. And as soon as I'm done, I'm like, what the fuck? Why'd you just do that?
Uh-oh.
So obviously I was feeling a little depressed or sorry for myself. I don't know what the fuck happens. But then I was this close to going in the bathroom like a teenage girl and fucking getting rid of it.
Oh, man.
I didn't, though. I didn't.
Put the old finger down the throat.
Yeah, I was this close because I'm like that. Because then I just felt like shit. Yeah. Felt like shit. I don't know how E-Rock and Roland and guys like that do this.
And guys like that.
I don't know how, because I have no desire to eat anything shitty for the rest of yesterday, and definitely for today, definitely tomorrow. I have no desire. But this is what people do. They'll do that, and then the next day they'll do it again.
Well, E-Rock, who's back, he's posting more pictures of horrific food that no one should be eating.
Yeah, E-Rock, you really are a doll.
Well, he is.
And you are the backbone of this radio
how is
program.
your Jack Link's Premium Cuts Barbecue Pork Jerky?
Well, is that what you were trying out yesterday?
That it was, yeah.
What is the hashtag? Stroke soon?
I read your review. It was I was very impressed with your food prowess.
I wouldn't even know where to get this stuff.
Get that at a bodega.
You see very different things when you go into a supermarket, huh, E-Rock?
I see everything.
I don't even know.
He's like got that vision like a bug has. They can just see things.
Like the Terminator?
Yeah.
It's like your 5 things come up. No, that looks delicious. Oh, shit.
I'll take 10. Right. That looks delicious.
Do you know where the yogurt aisle is at the supermarket?
Oh.
Or where the produce area is?
Yes.
Okay.
I just skipped.
I wouldn't know what
Skip the produce.
Great.
I wouldn't know where to get the Jack Link's Premium Cuts Barbecue Pork Jerky.
I'll get you some. Bring it in tomorrow.
I like that Jack Link's teriyaki.
Yeah?
jerky's really good shit.
And likes some jerkies. I'm not a big fan of the jerkies.
Oh, yeah.
When I was living in Western New York, people made their own jerky.
Oh, you got to try my venison jerky.
That's what it was. They would hang it in their garage and stuff and dry it out. And they would bring it to Bills games, I remember. And I tried it a couple times, and it was rough.
Takes all kinds of critters to make Farmer Vincent fritters.
People loved it, though, around me. They loved the homemade jerky up there. I never, got a taste for it. So
yeah.
But anyway, so then the large cookie led to what I can only describe as a sugar headache. They woke me up at 3 in the morning. Pounding headache. Because I think I had too much sugar. Just pounding.
Oh, boy.
Like a little bitch. Oh. It was like a little bitch yesterday.
Man.
It's so difficult for Opie because it's either too low his blood sugar or it's too high.
Oh, no, it's better
like
now.
A rainforest. You introduce something into it and the whole swath just dies.
Nah, I used to have a low blood sugar level thing. Gary Wall was the king, man. He would rush in with Jell-O for me because he didn't want me to get all ornery and obnoxious. Remember? He would come in with that Jell-O.
Yeah.
He would hear it on the radio, and he would come in with Jell-O.
Jell-O.
I don't know. I just don't eat a lot of sugar. Someone wants to know if I had a bikini teeny with the cookie last night.
Throw on a Java log?
I sure enjoy a good fruity cocktail.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, but you admit it on the radio.
Oh, then
then you have Jonah Hill calling you a faggot.
Right. Having to apologize.
Stupid Jonah Hill. Of course he apologized.
Yeah.
But anyway, the headache's much better. I've been shitting all morning, and I think that's the
You got to
finally
shit out the cookie to get rid of the headache.
I guess. I don't know. Sometimes Jesus. I get these headaches so bad that I puke, and then as soon as I puke, I'm fine.
Holy shit.
And I think you told me before the show that's like migraine.
Yeah, migraine.
Shit, right?
People that have migraines.
But you almost... when they get so bad, I can't wait to puke, because then I know I'm going to be instantly better. I mean, instantly.
No, I'm gonna tell you that your system's like a game of Mousetrap.
Why?
You ever seen the game Mousetrap?
Yeah, of course.
That's what it is. It's all kinds of things happening.
Dude, it's like it's a
falling and
throw the man in the rub-a-dub tub.
Yeah, it's a delicate ecosystem.
Yes, very delicate.
It really is. Got to deal with allergies and fucking herniated discs.
It just sounds like a chore.
Eating too much sugar will cause some shit.
You did say I ate the big cookie, and I finished this chocolate chip cookie, and I just kind of felt sorry for myself.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, there's not many people empathizing with you sitting in a penthouse finishing a big cookie. You poor guy.
I know.
Are you okay?
I know. Maybe I share too much. I was just frustrated. Yeah. Fuck.
Well, as long as you shit it out.
I did shit it out.
That's good.
And don't worry about the stain on my shirt, by the way, because this is a reversible. I'm reversing this shit during the break. So we'll look good for Ricky Gervais today.
I had a couple of people notice that I am wearing the same shirts that I was wearing last night at the game.
No, really?
Yeah.
You don't have any clothes in the city?
Nah, I have to bring a new batch back in. Yeah, I have some, and then I wound up taking it home. And,
right.
Yeah,
you're going to have a nice wardrobe in the city.
I usually just buy clothes in the city. Yep.
Oh, is our food here?
Oh, grub.
So why don't we take an early break so we could get into the Jonah Hill thing?
Yes.
The apology thing.
There's a couple of apologies. There's one from Tonight Show and one from TMZ. We'll play them.
Yes.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, we'll get into that. Oh, boy, we're going to get into that for a few minutes, right? Okay, good. Yeah, we're going to get into that. So, and it's podcast day, by the way. And we went with the misheard lyrics thing we did on Friday.
That was fun.
People seem to really, really like that hour, so we put it out on the podcast. So go get that today. Where can they go? Facebook, E-Rock, it's linked up on Facebook?
Twitter.
O&A Show on Facebook and Twitter.
Download it from iTunes, leave a comment.
Yeah, that would be nice. We want bragging rights on iTunes, so if you could get it through iTunes, that's the best place to go.
The comments help push it up the rankings. So
does it really?
Yeah.
Okay. But if you can't get it through iTunes, just get it. In the end, we just want you to hear our podcast. So, all right, we'll continue. my God. Remember this song?
Of course.
This song is 30 years old.
How's that possible?
This song is 30 years old.
Who sings this?
Bruce Springsteen, Jimmy. This is 30 years old.
Jeez.
Is that possible? So we got that one right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 80.
84, yeah.
84.
Oh, my God.
This was a pretty big song for the boss.
Boy, was this big. His biggest one ever, right?
I think that's a good question. I would have to go with Born to Run. Still, no?
I don't know. This one was
I heard way
fucking
more about this.
giant.
Yeah.
As a non-Springsteen fan.
Yeah, if you're a Springsteen fan, I'm sure you'll have
This
different
was, you know,
favorites.
I don't even like Born to Run.
No.
Baby, we were born
to Run.
Were you?
I don't like that.
Were ya?
Go.
I like Born to Run. I really do. Now that I don't have to play it anymore. When you're on rock radio and you hear this thing 10,000 times, you get sick of it, but...
You're in the Jersey Shore, you hear this all the time.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
They love them there.
Yeah, go ahead. Enough of this.
Runaway American dream. Like we run the suicide machines.
I got a good scolding in the bathroom from Eric
Why?
because of my anti-Stargate tweet.
You have an anti-Stargate tweet?
I watched. I can only say the first 35 minutes of it. I tried. That movie
movie or
stinks.
the movie or the
terrible movie
TV show?
It made me angry. It was so bad.
You tried it, though, huh?
I did try it. I'm like, I've heard of this for years, and James Spader's in it, and Kurt Russell with them dumps. You saw it, right?
Yeah, years ago.
Fucking horrendous.
Yeah.
Figures out the code in the first 7 minutes of the show. Oh, fuck you.
Fuck you.
And they go to another planet, and it's these fucking dumb, like, these like, awful, like, people living, like, in ancient times. They exchange. Oh, it was enragingly
Didn't like it?
cheese dick.
So
Terrible.
What did Eric say to you about it?
He wasn't happy with my tweet. He said that's launched a big thing, and E-Rock, I'm sure, was well-informed and correct.
Why do you like Stargate so much, E-Rock?
It just appealed, and I loved it. I went
It
to
could
see
have
it in
been
the
great.
movie theater,
Right.
and then
What'd you
we're
have?
supposed to have 2 more movies.
What'd you eat while you were in the movie
I don't
theater that
know.
day? Did you have jujubes?
Yeah.
Ugh, no.
The cushions, like the fucking
Break your
like
teeth.
George Animal Steel.
What do you get at the movie theater for a good movie?
I bring my own stuff.
Do you really?
Yeah.
They started scolding you for
own
bringing your own stuff, but they backed off a little bit.
Yes, especially if you say you have something wrong. They all just see lawsuit. Oh, you didn't let him eat his granola nuts, and he's going to sue us for.
God, you bring your own. That just seems like a hassle.
Yeah, but they don't have anything good.
You always got to sneak in, like, if you're going to sneak it in, it's got to be carrots or cucumbers.
Right.
Or something.
You can't sneak in an ice cream sundae or
I was
something.
just thinking of things you can fit in your asshole.
Yeah.
A yam.
Movie theater food is shit.
Oh, it's really bad.
So, I guess if they offered like healthy stuff, no one would eat it. That's the
No
problem.
one's gonna eat it.
That's why you don't.
And it's really expensive.
Really?
What kind of healthy food do they?
They do like apple slices with that you can dip into caramel. They have these little.
That's not healthy.
Well, compared to fucking licorice and popcorn.
I knew that was going to happen, by the way.
That's not healthy.
I knew he was going to say something that was not healthy.
But that's how they have to do it to get you to buy it.
Yeah, because we're Americans.
Because most people would just see apple slices and go, "Fuck that!" But then you give it a little treat to dip in.
Little treat.
Into. Everyone needs their little treats.
That's great.
Kurt Russell playing the Colonel was annoying.
Yeah, you didn't like
fucking
him?
dark sunglasses, secure the perimeter. You're on another planet. You're not in awe of the fact that you're on another planet. You're too busy going, secure the perimeter.
He's got a job to do, Jimmy.
Oh, it's just such...
He is awful in that movie. And
It's awful.
And years later in the TV show, they reference another. They have the same character, but they changed the name slightly, and they reference Kurt Russell's character in their storyline.
Right.
And they just keep saying like, "What a pompous dick he is." Like they just say
I
how
getcha.
awful that character was.
Wasn't MacGyver in the TV series?
Yes,
Director was terrible.
SG-1.
SG-1, yes.
I've never seen the movie.
Stupid garbage one.
There's new movies coming.
They're rebooting it. Same director, I heard.
Oh, really?
For what? It wasn't good.
They got a huge fan base, right?
James Spader was a great actor, but he was cheesy in that.
Yeah.
He's all weird and quirky. You just figured out the code. Oh, it goes here. Oh, fuck you.
He's all quirky.
Yeah, got the glasses, the longish hair, on the military. And they just go, you're on the team.
He's become a great actor.
James Spader's amazing.
When he first started, he played all those goofy parts.
Yeah,
he's on Blacklist.
No, I know. That's why I'm saying he's a great actor. I've seen some scenes from that show.
But he's still it was just his role was so irritating.
Right.
I hated the story. They could have made it. It could have been a great. Contact was a great movie.
Yeah,
Carl Sagan wrote I believe the book. Fucking, he figures out the code looking at this Egyptian.
Yeah.
It's star constellations.
Yeah, I know. Oh, he figures it out immediately. Oh, no, it's not a car. Oh, look, it turns. Oh, here we go. 8 minutes into the movie, they're on another planet. Secure the perimeter. Oh, eat my ass. Fucking terrible writing.
No real big story set up.
Because all the time that they fucking waste with those stupid desert people that they meet. I'm trying to communicate a chocolate bar. What a waste. All that time could have been spent making up cool graphics.
I love Jimmy's take on this.
It was a shit movie. Made me crazy how bad it was. But you know the people I mean?
Yeah.
And of course he sees the pretty girl. Ooh.
Yeah.
I gotta see the movie.
Can't wait till Jim sees the aliens in the movie. He hasn't gotten to it yet.
Yeah, don't spoil it for me.
Oh, you gotta watch the whole thing.
It was just too late. I had to go to bed.
Okay, watch the whole thing. Maybe it gets better.
Yeah. If the film stops 30 minutes in, a fire breaks out and all the actors are killed.
I was catching up on Louie last night. Oh. Starting to look at Jimmy like, wow, that's the guy from Louie.
Hey.
I've known Jimmy forever. Wow, that's the guy from Louie.
Which one did you see?
I gotta tell you, man, fucking Louis C.K.'s writing, I fucking love it. The Todd Barry, A Day in the Life of Todd Barry. Oh, that was amazing.
Yeah, it was really good.
And it was filmed, it was just amazing how that was put together.
Yeah, it was just like this typical comics day.
Right.
But Louis had it.
But who has the balls to put that on TV? And then it works.
And he makes it build to this crescendo of nothing.
Of nothingness.
Like he tells at the end of it, he's like, I woke up and I went to the grocery store and I had a gig here and I went.
Have you seen that yet?
No. I haven't seen that one yet.
It's brilliantly written and shot.
Is that where Todd is sitting at the table and
everyone's listening to him?
And he he's
because he doesn't have kids. So they're like, what's his name? I forgot his name. Who's that comic?
Mark Maron?
No, the guy that said...
Greg Fitzsimmons.
Greg Fitzsimmons turns to Todd and goes, well, what's a day like for you then? And then he just goes through it. And it's so fucking mundane, but so interesting in a weird way.
Is that where he got them to change the sign?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Todd Barry.
I think you're in the background, out of focus. I couldn't tell, though.
Yeah,
we were trying to figure out if that was you in the background.
It was me, but
you're at the bar or something, listening from a distance on that one.
Do you know why?
You're in that episode because you talked to the Hungarian broad.
Oh, that's the Hungarian episode.
Where you say you have a 7-foot penis.
Yeah, my cock is 7 feet long and it stinks.
Right.
When Louis told me that line, he told me 6 months before he shot that, I laughed for a week. I don't know if I told you guys that there was a line Louis told me I had to say.
Yeah, you did.
That was the line.
That was the line.
My cock is 7 feet long and it stinks.
Nice.
And I laughed for a week.
Right.
When he told me that.
That's funny.
Because you ask her if she knows English, and she says, she
like,
nods
Louis?
like, no, I don't
Yeah.
know English. So then you hit her with that line.
But you're
and
just
then
like-
she gives you a scolding in Hungarian.
Creepily over her shoulder, just like staring at her like, yeah.
Yeah. Is that you watching? But I remember going upstairs and doing the sitting there for that speech.
Right. And then Louis was on our show talking about how they filmed the hurricane.
Has that been shown?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
It was this week.
Pretty amazing, actually.
I got to catch up on my Louie.
Yeah. So I'm loving this this season of Louis.
Yeah, everyone's saying it's great.
It's really good. I love the writing. The writing is just amazing. The Todd Barry thing, I was blown away by. Todd Barry should be in movies. He pulled that off like... Is he?
Oh, yeah, he was in the Wrestler. He played the...
Oh, that's right, he was in The
Todd's a
Wrestler.
good actor. Yeah, he's a good actor. He's a really, really funny comic.
That's right, he was in The Wrestler. Has he done anything since?
Oh, yeah.
Here and there?
Yeah, he's like, he's always doing stuff. He did Comedians in Cars this year, I think.
Right, yes, he did.
He has a new special, too, that Louie, I guess, directed and produced,
right.
and Louie's selling it off his site for him.
Yeah, those guys have been friends for a long, long time.
So, there you go. Should we get to the apology?
We should. I was contemplating this last night, this whole situation.
So, let's see. Well, we gotta do our bit. We're trying to go 10 days, and other media outlets are starting to pick up on this a little bit.
Yeah.
They're all starting to notice, what the fuck is wrong with this country and the apology.
I still say we should do a week. I think it's faster and it sounds better. 1 week.
10 days.
True.
That's all it is. It's 10 days.
Everything's in a week cycle.
Yeah.
If
10 days.
1 week without an apology. 10 days is almost a long.
We didn't think it'd be long, but we're just trying to go 10 lousy days on our show without a mainstream apology, and it's unbelievable. We don't even go a day at this point.
We haven't even gone, a week.
We don't go a day. So Jonah Hill was being bothered by the paparazzi, so he turns around and says, "Suck my dick, faggot." Right?
Ow.
Right?
Yep.
But the paparazzi caused that incident. Jonah Hill was minding his own business. Everyone got their pictures and shit, and a bunch of those guys got their goofy questions out.
Yeah.
And then it was time to leave him alone. But the one guy noticed that he was a bit bothered, so he just stayed in his face.
Yeah, he kept.
And Jonah Hill even turned the corner. It seems like if you turn the corner in L.A., it's over.
Yeah.
Most of the guys will back off, but this one guy continued, and you could see him running in the video, and he's just bothering him. So he turns around and does what anybody would do. You come up with some shitty stuff to say. And he goes, "Suck my dick, faggot."
Oh, boy.
So now people are questioning, does that make Jonah Hill a homophobe? You could say homophobic things, I believe, but it doesn't mean you're a homophobe.
Hate speech. Hate speech.
Why does that immediately make you a homophobe?
Oh, it's saying
seriously, explain
that you're not supposed to say about certain people, and it just fosters stereotypes and hate and violence against those people.
I actually know the answer to that.
You do?
It doesn't make you a homophobe, and they know it doesn't make you a homophobe.
Thank you.
But whenever you say something and you're caught saying something, groups will now use you, and the threat is we will label you as a homophobe or a racist or a misogynist if you do not now go out and apologize and in a manner that we see fit, even though we know you're not hateful.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I think I could speak for all of us, but we strongly feel like Jonah Hill could say, "Suck my dick, faggot," if he's being bothered. But with that said, Jonah Hill was being a little stupid because he knows the climate we live in these days, and that could cause a major fucking issue.
But that's the whole issue that I have with all these apologies. If you're walking down the street and someone fucks with you and you say, "Oh, chimney got a booty did it be," you'd be like, "Oh boy, I don't know where that came from. I didn't mean to say it. I didn't know it was offensive, and I apologize."
Right.
If you say "suck my dick, faggot," you've been saying that to your friends, to fucking shit, whatever it is. That doesn't just fly out of your head out of nowhere.
Right.
Have you ever called someone something in anger that you haven't previously used in some way, shape, or form? That's why this is so dishonest. It's because his apology isn't for the fact that he used that word.
Right.
It's and he feels bad, and that's what he says.
Right.
That he feels bad that he used such a hateful word, and but they're never apologizing for that.
Right.
They're apologizing because they said a word you're not supposed to say.
Right.
And what the fuck kind of adults are we that there are words that we're not supposed to say anymore?
While you're being
harassed.
And I don't even have.
It wasn't like he was just having,
Crazy.
getting ice cream or something, and
He said it to the guy behind the counter.
Right.
I said, "Big chocolate chip, you fucking faggot." Suck my dick.
Right. There was a reason why he lashed out like he did.
Yeah.
We're all dishonest because we've all done this.
Of course.
I don't blame him necessarily for apologizing. I'm not saying I like it, but I get there's no upside to Jonah Hill not apologizing. He works in Hollywood, and for him, it's like he's not a comedian. He's not a fucking radio guy. He's just like, oh man, I said something. It's going to hurt me.
Yep.
Why wouldn't I? I just didn't think that he needed to.
Have you heard the apology?
That's what I'm saying. I don't think
it is so
he needed
dishonest. Going to Anthony's point,
I don't think he needed to grovel like this.
Right.
He could have just said, "Look, I was angry. I said something stupid. Hey, sorry about that." Like, can't we just ever just do it like that? If you're gonna do it,
or explain it in a way everyone does understand that we all say shitty things when we're really agitated.
Yeah, that's it.
You know. And if that offended some of you, I'm sorry for that. But at least explain why that popped out of your mouth.
You don't think when he's sitting around with his Hollywood pals there and fucking they're just hanging out, he doesn't go, knock it off, faggot.
Right.
I bet that word gets thrown around a lot. Like I said, it didn't
But
just
does that make you a
fly out of
homophobe?
his head like willy-nilly.
But that's the question.
Not at all.
I don't think so either.
Not at all.
I think there are homophobes that certainly will say that as well.
Oh, shit, yeah.
But I think in general, you could say homophobic things, and you're not a homophobe.
The guy that
I really believe that.
The guy that picked up Dirk Diggler in his little pickup truck.
Sure, that's a homophobe.
Fucking faggot. Donkey dick Fergie.
So Jonah Hill was here at Sirius XM yesterday, and he apologized on Howard Stern. But I need to tell the people we're not allowed to play that audio because we're not allowed to play Howard Stern audio.
Apparently from anywhere.
If it's on TMZ, I think it should be fair game.
Because here at Sirius XM, there's pretty much, two companies.
Yeah.
It's the Howard Stern company and then the rest of us.
Yeah.
So, for whatever reason,
we're not play audio that's everywhere else.
On TMZ.
It doesn't matter.
That makes him sound like a fucking loser.
I mean, if they want to say, we don't want you to pull audio from his show.
Why?
Through the system.
But that's stupid, too.
But even if that was the line, I could even say, well, it's his show. Yeah. But when it ends up on TMZ, that if we want to play clips from America's Got Talent, whatever the fuck, we should be able to do that.
Who said we can't play clips from America's Got Talent?
We're not allowed to play any Howard Stern audio.
Yeah.
I don't believe we can't play America's Got Talent.
And Howard's supposedly some big tough guy, so what's the problem? It bothers him that much that we play some of his audio on our show every once in a while? And it is every once in a while.
Yeah. It's when it's news. This is news. It's a story about Jonah. Or it's on Howard, so what the fuck?
News and, clips of him crying over little kittens.
Aw, they are adorable.
I think that's ridiculous. We don't give a fuck who plays our audio. Please play our audio.
That's what we say.
We beg you to play our audio. So, Jonah Hill, do you want to play the TMZ version or what?
From what I've heard, the Tonight Show apology is better.
Really?
So Sam is saying it's way better, so play that one.
Here's Jonah Hill addressing his controversial remarks on Jimmy Fallon last night.
Welcome back to our show. I appreciate you being here. We always like you as a guest.
I'm thrilled to be here, and
you don't look thrilled.
I'd actually like to address something. If that's okay to your audience? Is it? No,
no, I actually no. I heard about this. Now, something happened over the weekend. You got in a lot of trouble.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, this isn't a joke. So, this weekend I was out with some friends, and there was a paparazzi guy, and he was antagonizing me and calling me names, attacking me personally and my family personally, and I was genuinely hurt by this and made angry by this. And in response, I wanted to hurt him back. And I said the most hurtful word that I could think of at that moment. And, I didn't mean this in the sense of the word. I didn't mean it in a homophobic way. And
I'm uncomfortable.
I think that...
Oh, are you choking? Is he tearing up?
That doesn't matter. How you mean things doesn't matter. Words have weight.
Hold on, can you pause up? How you mean things doesn't matter? Jonah, that's all that matters.
It's all that matters.
That's all that... The Giants killed the Jets. Well, call the police. The Jets have been killed. Of course it matters.
Yes.
Context is everything. Intent is everything.
Everything. What he's saying is that under no circumstance should that word be used, and it should be taken as literal homophobic hate speech in every circumstance.
So I guess that we should go through every film he's ever done.
Yeah.
and pull anything he's ever said that was threatening because the words are all that matters, not the content. It doesn't matter that you were acting. It doesn't matter that you were being filmed. All that matters, like, that's nonsense. Oh, it's nonsense.
It's nonsense.
Come on, dude.
Oh, it gets way better.
Him going, sorry, like he's tearing up.
He started laughing.
Oh, God. At the end, he just yells it again.
Yeah. And then he fucking pop locks and moonwalks out of frame.
It goes back to the dishonesty. He doesn't believe anything he's saying.
No.
And the people listening to this that maybe needs the apology, they're not officially believing this either, but they'll make believe, oh, okay, he meant what he said.
This is him acting.
We're good now.
He's
a very good actor.
He's a good actor, and he's acting right now. That's it.
All right, hit it.
Sorry, I think that that doesn't matter. You know, how you mean things doesn't matter. Words have weight and meaning. And the word I chose was grotesque. And
grotesque. It was not. It was faggot.
No one deserves.
Exactly. Don't rewrite history.
Yeah. Suck my dick, grotesque.
Oh, wow. Wow, Jonah. Jesus.
This is bad.
The words don't. The words are all that matters. How you mean it doesn't matter. Like, but
that's where
and
we
he's
are.
being sincere. But that dude, that's all that matters is how you mean it.
This is where we are, though. This is where we are.
Hasn't he said shitty things in his movies?
Of course.
Of course.
So doesn't that hurt people?
Wouldn't that matter?
Wouldn't that hurt people
Because
as well?
It doesn't matter.
Well, why not just?
What are
turn
some of the
those walls
shitty
down?
things has he said in movies? I'm trying to remember.
Faggot. And Superbad.
We got to get some Superbad clips together.
I think the word faggot was
Wall
used.
Street too.
Wolf of Wall Street.
What does he say in Wolf of Wall Street?
I gotta look it up, but it was a lot of the shit when he was doing crack and everything. He was calling the other guy when they were on the balcony before going on the boat. He was doing a bunch of slurs to that guy too.
So find some of those because I'm curious to see what some of the shitty things he has said in movies. Because wouldn't that be the same thing technically? Wouldn't it? Why is it okay to hear it in movies, but not in your regular life?
Well, the answer to that would be because that's what an actor does. So for an actor, they can't attack their own profession. So they have to, what they're doing is noble and somehow cool, but what the rest of us are doing is wrong and in real life it's wrong.
Right.
And words have no, all that they have weight, and how you say them means nothing.
Yeah.
That means nothing how you say them. So then why is he hanging out with DiCaprio? Who said nigger how many times in Django?
Right.
Why is he friends with DiCaprio?
That's right.
You can't be friends with Leonardo DiCaprio. He said the word. The word's all that matters. The meaning, how you mean it, has no impact.
Right.
Right.
He can never hang out with Paul Giamatti from 12 Years a Slave. He can never hang out with fucking Michael Fassbender.
Can't hang out with me.
Oh, here we go. They're coming in already. Jonah Hill said retard in Wolf of Wall Street, according to Jeff on Long Island.
Doesn't matter. What context, though? Oh, that's right. It doesn't matter.
That's a tough word these days.
Absolutely.
In this society we live in, that's a tough one to say.
How much flack? Did he get a lot of flack, by the way, from groups, him personally, or no?
No, because it was in a movie.
Oh,
but if you do it on a radio show, you got to get fired immediately.
Okay.
Even though we, too, are trying to entertain people with our dumbness and our silliness. Yes. Continue there, Sammy.
No one deserves to say or hear words like that.
Oh, God.
And, I've been a supporter of the LGBTQ community my entire life.
LGBTQ community.
This is following every other apology. It's so wrong. Now I got to tell you what I have done for that community, which proves I'm not a bad guy.
It's the same.
And then it's probably going to end. I swear I want to hear this cold. A lot of these things I want to hear for the first time on the show. I wonder if he goes for the my deepest apology.
Deepest apology. And then
I'm going to work harder to be a better person. Right. What are some of the other fucking little things in these apologies?
How about this? I'll never use another slur of any kind in a film again.
Oh, shit.
How about that?
Right.
How about no?
How about no? But how about if the words are all that matters, you'll never use a slur in a film again?
I'm going to go with I ask for your forgiveness. You have to throw yourself down. At the feet of the Lord.
Ask for mercy.
I ask for mercy and your forgiveness.
How fucking douchey. And it's going to end with him like doing the whole, and so, well, that's, and it, woo! And Jimmy Fallon will be like, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wait. Let's hold on a minute. Let's go with JT in New Jersey. JT, what do you got, buddy?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey.
In the movie Superbad, there's the character Fogel, McLovin or whatever.
Right.
Throughout that whole fucking movie, Jonah Hill calls him Faggle.
Faggle, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, dude. He's just full of shit, man. It's real tough to listen to.
Well, he is full of shit. We understand why he has to apologize, because he's in that world.
We're all in this world now. It's terrible.
Right, but I think there's a better way to do this. You're just lying to everybody. Yeah. You don't mean any of this shit you're saying on Fallon?
No. He doesn't care that he used the word faggot like
You're
this.
angry.
He doesn't care this much. No one cares this much about anything. Holy shit, he's apologizing like he fucking killed somebody.
Right. Let's go to Josh in Ohio. Josh.
I won't believe a word he says.
Hey, Josh.
Hey, so he says that the weight of the word doesn't matter. The weight of the words matter, and the intent wasn't there. So was he really telling that paparazzi guy to literally suck his dick?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Maybe it was.
Yeah, I guess you're right on that.
I guess he really wanted his cock sucked.
Right. Which would add to, whatever. Let's say hi to Joey in Long Island. Joey!
Hey.
Hey.
I just wanted to also mention, not only was he hanging out with DiCaprio and Django saying nigger a million times, he also played someone in the KKK in that movie.
Did he really?
Yeah, he was one of the guys with the hoods.
But that's okay because it's a movie, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. But wouldn't that be hurtful to a lot of people?
Sure it would. And that's you're playing a real member of a real hate group.
Yeah.
Well, I guess so. I guess he's got to now ask that movie not be sold anymore.
Right. Getting into Jonah Hill's head, that would be hurtful to people as well, no?
Yeah. Very hurtful. These words hurt me.
Let's continue with the apology from Jimmy Fallon last night.
And, I've been a supporter of the LGBTQ community my entire life.
Wait, they're adding Q now?
Completely.
Hold on. What's the Q?
I think he tripped up saying community.
Maybe is it queer? Like queer?
Or they add quay.
No way. Queeb?
Quay, queeb, or queer. What do they add?
I think queer because that's for genderqueer.
Genderqueer is. I even asked my therapist, "What is that?" Because I've read that term before, and it annoyed me.
Held up a mirror.
Jimmy.
How did I fucking dust off my weak chin and walk into that one?
Genderqueer. What does it mean?
I don't know. I think she said it was something like it's a way people identify themselves. I don't even know if it's like a legit thing. I don't know what it is.
I thought queer wasn't supposed to be used at all.
Yeah.
Queer studies.
Queer studies.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Is that a rap album?
No, that's not a rap.
Oh.
They have queer porn, which is like a lot of... Some of it I've watched. It's like really hardcore lesbians with other chicks, and it can be really sexy, but they're girls who don't shave under their arms.
Yeah.
And there's certain, I just like the girl-on-girl stuff is pretty hot.
There used to be a word like gay. Gay used to be happy. Queer used to be like that. Wow, they sure are acting a bit queer tonight. Back in the day, queer just meant weird.
Yeah.
A little odd, a little off.
Oh, so if the word is different.
Right.
If the word is all that matters, and how you say it means nothing, then fag should be okay, because what that means in England. Queer should be okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Any of these words should be okay.
Odd.
If it's just the word.
Right.
Yeah.
Gay? You could say gay.
So it's LBGTQ now?
LGBT.
He added the Q.
LGBTQ.
Maybe he made a mistake.
No, I think they did add a Q.
Because it sounded like Q, and then he said community. I'm not sure. Is it LGBTQ?
Oh, okay. I was wrong. It doesn't stand for genderqueer. Q stands for questioning, someone who is questioning their sexual and/or gender orientation. Sometimes the Q stands for queer, a term reclaimed by some LGBTs for political reasons.
We reclaim. It's not a fucking foreign land. It's just something guys say to each other when they're annoyed.
Putting the old rainbow flag into it. It's ours now.
And I have my suspicions about Jonah.
Oh, wow. Mysterious?
Yeah, but it's not even...
mysterious?
I wouldn't care either way.
Little Q?
It's just a vibe I've gotten, and I could be totally wrong. It's just a feeling.
Oh.
But we're up to LBGTQ.
Thanks, Kenny.
I was thinking that's a hell of a crypto quote.
That is, yeah.
That's a hell of a crypto quote.
Yeah,
I'm going to have a tough time with this one.
Guys, I have an answer here.
For what?
And this is... Kurt, who is helping me write my show, is obsessed with the normative language. Like, Kurt goes bananas reading this shit.
Right.
Genderqueer is a term that may be used to describe those with non-normative gender, as there is an umbrella term or standalone identity, typically encompassing those who are in one or more of these 6 categories. The 6 categories of gender.
6 categories, all right.
Both man and a woman. Example, androgyny, I think it is. Again, but this is a very bad copy. Neither man nor woman. Agender, neutrosis, non-gendered.
So you could say you're nothing. You're neither.
Third gender or other gendered includes those who prefer genderqueer or non-binary. It's almost like they're taking
too hard.
People are trying too hard to have an important sounding label put on themselves.
Right.
Which is why I think people don't like tranny, because it doesn't sound important.
No.
It's so silly.
Sounds goofy.
Having an overlap or blur of gender and orientation and sex. And they call them girl fags and guy dykes.
Oh, I see.
That's just bisexual.
Around.
If you're bisexual, you're bisexual. But just say it. You don't need a more important sounding word.
What happened to tomboy?
Those who queer gender in presentation or otherwise, or who may or may not see themselves as non-binary or having a gender that is queer.
Oh, boy.
This category may also include those who are consciously political or radical in their understanding of being gender. Just shit. But who cares what your politics are? If you're talking about your gender, your politics are irrelevant.
Yeah. Isn't it?
Just trying to sound more important.
Absolute? I don't know. Yeah, it's trying way too hard to fit it into some kind of science.
Your sex is an absolute. Your gender is a social construct.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, well, if that's how they're looking at it, but I don't think that's how it... I think that's just how people decide to spin it. I think your gender is just a thing. And maybe there is, like, transgendered, okay, that's something that they're saying is legitimate. It's not just a guy becoming a girl, it's a real third thing. Okay.
Yeah, everyone's getting a little carried
But
away.
I think everyone else now wants their own thing.
Yeah.
I don't care enough.
Yeah, that's true.
I just don't care enough.
Well, some of us do need to pay attention to this stuff. Now, maybe...
Settle down.
I'm just trying to raise kids and pay a few bills like everyone else. I don't care enough.
Well, something tells me I'll be needing to adopt someday. So.
Jonah, let's go. Continue.
God, this is long.
You know, I've been a supporter of the LGBTQ community my entire life, and I completely let the members of that community and everybody else down when I used a word like that this weekend. And my heart's broken, and I genuinely...
Let him down.
am deeply sorry to anyone who's been affected by that term.
Pause. Deeply made it?
Deeply. He's deeply.
Why did he let him down? I bet you if you polled that community, there's a bunch of people that use that exact word.
Oh yeah,
and said that exact thing that Jonah Hill said.
But then you could pull the.
But they could do it because I don't know. I don't understand that whole thing.
But again, why hasn't he apologized after films? Why isn't that letting them down? If the word is the only thing that matters, why have you not let them down in your movies?
E-Rock, you find any other quotes from some of those movies starring Jonah Hill?
I'm going through Wolf of Wall Street right now, trying to find some stuff.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, Sam.
And I genuinely am deeply sorry to anyone who's ever been affected by that term in their life. And I'm sorry, and I don't deserve or expect your forgiveness.
But wow, this is...
What I ask is that at home, if you're watching this, and you're a young person especially...
What should we do?
If someone says something that hurts you or angers you, use me as an example of what not to do.
God, Jonah.
This is so embarrassing. This is like a sketch of the over-the-top apologies that have been going on.
Right.
I hate to be, cliche, you always bring up an SNL bit, but this seems like one of those bits like, let's do something. Everyone's apologizing. Right. Let's do this over-the-top, unnecessary apology bit.
Because it's all bullshit.
It's all
we
bullshit.
got to keep saying that. He doesn't believe this.
You think he sincerely means this? Do you think that calling someone a faggot as they're harassing you with a camera conjured up this much regret and sorrow inside him that he needs to go on The Tonight Show and blather on like this? Holy fuck, we're adults!
Couldn't it just be I was angry and I said something kind of stupid and I shouldn't have said it knowing that I was being filmed and people who might be hurt? Hey, sorry about that.
Use me.
Use me.
I want to be your fag Jesus. So if you ever say faggot, I will take your sins away. I will be the martyr. Wowie kazowie. We're adults. Adults don't fucking act like this. Or speak with words like the F word or the N word. What happened? Holy moly.
Is there more to the apology?
Please, more.
Oh, yeah.
We're grown-ups. Big people.
Yeah.
Oh, here he goes. Use me.
Use me as an example of what not to do. And don't respond with hatred or anger, because you're just adding more ugliness to the world. And again, I'm so sorry.
I appreciate you actually being sincere and saying that.
I know I'm usually funny and stuff, but this wasn't funny. It was stupid. I deserve the I'm going to get for it,
Yeah. Well, no, that's good that you came out and
you came out.
Oh, came out.
No, came out and no, I didn't mean.
This guy is the host of the Tonight Show for a reason.
I'm sorry. No, you came out here and told us all, and a lot of people watch the show, and a lot of people are fans of yours. So that's it's good for you.
You have to be honest sometimes.
You have to. Well, thank you.
My love and apologies to everyone.
Oh, that's an edit. That was a weird edit right there.
Yeah. I think Jonah pulled his dick out and said, who wants it? Who wants it, baby? And then he sat back down.
Oh, boy. By the way.
Yeah.
That goes down as the most groveling fucking apology I've ever heard.
You think?
So far.
Yeah.
That is worse than Imus. I'm sorry, I did that.
Mm-hmm. I think it all started with Imus in a weird way.
It
right?
really, like that whole, nappy-headed hoe line that he had to apologize for.
That seemed to get the ball rolling.
Yeah, when he started going on Reverend Al's show.
There were apologies before that, but that seemed to really get the ball rolling.
I'm sorry, I did that.
He wasn't sorry that he did that.
He wasn't.
Greaseman started it all.
Oh, shit, Waddle Doodle.
Waddle Doodle.
Apologize.
I want to apologize for something.
Oh, what's the matter, Jimmy?
I've just got nothing to be sorry for. I'm sorry I've been so good.
This, and I should have wrote it down ahead of time, but maybe we could get it during the break. This leads to our Words Hurt podcast that we put out a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
That's getting some action out there, and it's being picked up by some blogs here and there.
Yeah.
And a guy wrote about our Words Hurt podcast the other day, and if someone could retweet that link to me again, that would be really nice. But he says some very interesting things on his blog about it.
Who did that? Because
it was sent to all of us.
I think I know. Just want to be sure.
Yeah, somebody will retweet it to me.
Ah, man.
When are you having me on the podcast?
Basically, what this guy was saying was the lawyers put out that whole Words Hurt pamphlet when we were on regular radio about about 6 years ago now, probably. And this blogger was basically saying they didn't mean it. They don't believe what they wrote in this pamphlet, and they were just trying to protect against lawsuits.
Of course, it all comes down to that.
In a hostile work environment.
And it's mutated into this whole thing.
Right, but he said more about it. I would love to read that after the break. If someone could retweet it to me, that'd be nice.
And I have a big plug.
But a lot of people enjoying the Words Hurt podcast. Go get it. Go get it. Because this shit's been going on for a long time now. Yes, Jimmy.
Today at 3 o'clock, my advice show returns. People have been asking me about that. So it finally comes back at 3 p.m. today from 3 to 4 on the East Coast. So
I advise you to listen.
There you go.
I tied it nicely. So 1 hour. I actually think this is a better time for it than 11 a.m.
Are you doing an ISDN line from the home?
Yeah, or I can come back in whenever I want.
Damn.
I have 2 options. I have it set up at home where it's like a headset and it's all professional.
Oh, do it that way.
Nice.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, but I kind of like the idea. They don't have certain things for Mac, so I kind of want...
try it out.
I like
see what
being
happens,
able to see
right?
the phone screen or whatever.
True.
But yeah, so today at 3 o'clock, I'll tweet out the number later. What do you got there, Sam? Sammy!
Oh.
No need for that excitement. It was from Wolf of Wall Street. E-Rock found a good clip.
Yeah, let's hear this. Jonah Hill, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I see all of you.
This is because you're a fag? My cousin's a fucking faggot, and I go on vacation with him and his boyfriend. I love
He's
that.
right, be in charge, right? I will not be stolen from. You get that?
I fucking like gay people. I don't like you.
You don't
He
like
should
gay
have hired a
people.
fucking
You take it up the
Mexican like
ass.
I have in my fucking house. If
What?
you hired
What's
some...
it-
Yeah, man, shit, so fuck.
Oh, my God.
Wow. So he calls him a fag, and then the guy gets punched in the face.
Right.
But that's okay, I guess. Because the words are all that matters. Not how you say them.
Oscar nominated, okay.
Yeah.
Draper Hound on Twitter says, Jonah said high-fiving faggots on your show years ago.
Really?
Did he high-five us?
If we could find that, if someone has that clip, that'd be great.
How did that guy remember that?
Oh, these guys know more about our radio show than we do. That's what's kind of scary at times. And let's not forget Charles Barkley making fun of the fat broads in San Antonio.
Yeah.
And said he wasn't going to apologize.
Right.
And guess what? Just went away.
Fat broad contingency.
If you can hang in there for a few days, maybe a week or two, it just goes away in the end.
Some people are a little rougher to deal with.
Yes.
The gay groups, they come at you a little harder than the fucking fat women groups.
They get tired fast.
Yes, they get very tired.
Yeah.
They have to go to Curbs and go on the treadmill. Fatties.
Don't be confused. Why not, saying, hateful things is all right. It's just how this is. You got to use your brain.
It's just the fact that I think in every time the word faggot has been used, the percentage of times it's been aimed at somebody in a hostile, hateful way is probably very low compared to the way it's been used with your fucking dumb friends.
Right.
And just saying, stop being a faggot.
And they are two different things. But for some reason, you just say the word, you're grouped into the people that are very hateful.
It's all of a sudden hate.
But that was your good point. Oscar nominated. That was Oscar nominated, and I'm fine with it.
Hate speech.
Oh, yeah. I want my movies to sound like that.
Yeah.
No problem. I absolutely want my movies to be like that.
Yeah.
And I want people to be able to speak their minds in public, too, especially if they're being harassed.
Exactly.
Jonah Hill was minding his own business the other day. He wasn't doing anything wrong.
Mind your own beeswax. That's what I say.
The paparazzi could be,
They want that reaction.
Yeah.
Much better.
They're going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing you until you do say something like that.
Yep.
Yeah. That's what sells clicks.
Yep.
That's what's selling the clicks.
Yep. Push somebody, when they snap at you, you got a tape of it, and then you make that the story. It's...
Right.
He was touching me. He was touching me. He was touching... Like, that's what we're doing.
Right.
That's the whole country.
Right.
Silly.
Anyway.
Well, that was really groveling, though. That was real bad.
You should do more gay news, by the way.
Huh?
Cake maker forced by the courts to make cakes.
Make cakes for gay people?
Yeah.
Is that, yeah. That was yesterday, right?
I don't know when
today?
the decision came down. I actually am
Yeah,
very happy
Baker,
about
this is unbelievable to me. If you run a business, this is kind of... This is dangerous territory, don't you think, in general?
Well, the guy's enough with his religious freedom, and I know that's a constitutional
Wait, you think
right.
He should be forced to make... Wow, really?
Because unless
because as a consumer though, you could go, all right, well, fuck you. I'm not taking my business to your bakery.
What would happen if they were black and they wanted a cake, and he goes, I don't serve black?
That's true.
He wouldn't be allowed to do it. Or if he said Jews.
But the guy's being forced to make. What is he being forced to make? Same-sex couples wedding cakes, right?
But his religion. By the way, being gay is, I believe it's not a choice. I think you're probably born that way in most cases.
I think it's both.
Maybe it is both. Possible.
Yeah.
But I say people can be born that way. And religion is the choice.
Yeah.
You're choosing to be religious. It's not a fucking... You're not born religious. You choose it. Even though you're indoctrinated into it, you choose to stay that way.
True.
So, yeah, in a business, it's a weird thing, though, because...
You're kind of born into a religion, though. Kind of.
But you don't have to stay.
I know, but it's kind of hard to move on to another religion. Really is. People do it, but it's very rare, though.
I honestly think people are born gay, and then there's another whole group of people that enjoy the lifestyle, are attracted to members of the same sex, but maybe weren't born that way. It's so obvious when you do see somebody that is born gay, and you're just like, wow, that's an amazing. Like when a kid is 4 years old, you're like, okay, I see some tendencies, you know, as opposed to somebody that just seems to enjoy the lifestyle. And that's with everything. I mean, you look at these dumb fucking suburban assholes that want to be black, right? And they walk around like wiggers. They weren't born black, but they're acting that way because they enjoy the lifestyle and all the bullshit that goes along with it. So I think it's the same thing.
Maybe.
So you can't just...
A percentage. What percentage you think?
Yeah.
I think it's a small percentage.
You think a small percentage are born that way? Or
no, I think most
gay guys are born that way.
Yeah, are born that way. And then I kind of agree with you to a certain extent, but I think that number is very small.
I think most people who are gay would choose not to be if they could help it, because life would be so much easier if they weren't.
Really?
Like, yeah, a lot of gay guys I know would never
try getting laid.
No, but I'm saying, like, just with your family and your parents and all that stuff, like, beyond the sex stuff, I think a lot of them would go, like, yeah, I would choose anything other than this. It's difficult.
Right. But
this guy, the businesses are really weird about discrimination. As much as I don't care how this guy feels about gays, and he should be allowed to say he doesn't like them.
Yeah.
When you run a business, man, unless you're allowed to say, I don't want Jews in my store, I don't want fucking... Imagine if he didn't like interracial couples. And he goes, I don't want to fucking do interracial... But you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you wouldn't be allowed to do it.
Your business, though. It's in the word. It's your business.
Yeah, but I don't think you could...
You know what I mean? It should be just your business.
I don't think you can run a business legally, even, and infringe on people's basic rights. They're I don't think you could do that.
Like, people should be able to walk into any store and make any purchase they want to make without a problem. Imagine
but the guy never offered same-sex cakes.
But he makes wedding cakes.
So now he's being forced to offer those. You know what I mean? He never offered that. That wasn't part of his business.
But now, how did that one guy get his fucking son taken away for coming in to a store and wanting a Happy Birthday Hitler cake?
Right.
Like that. They seem to have infringed on his rights.
I think he's a disgusting parent, but you shouldn't have your kid taken away for something like that.
Getting his kid a nice cake.
You're also making your kid's life fucking... You're making your kid's life miserable, and fucking... You're putting him in a corner because you want to make a statement.
Well, that's true, but that happens in a lot of families.
Sure.
And maybe it's not that overt as naming your kid Hitler and trying to get a birthday cake that says Hitler, but there are parents completely fucking their kids up in ways that are deemed acceptable. Yeah. So
that's true.
I give the cake guy a lot of credit, because now he said, you know what, I'm just not making cakes anymore. Okay. So he is still following his religious beliefs.
Cool. You keep following that terrific God that tells you that you should make cakes for certain people, but you shouldn't make... And the Lord saith, thou shalt not make cake for gays, you dummy.
Isn't it? I mean, is he really making cakes, or is he just ordering more grooms? Just getting a lot more grooms.
Oh, my God, yes.
That's all it is. It's the same fucking cake.
On the top.
Just got to get an extra box of grooms to put on the top.
Easy enough.
That's all it is. Let's see.
Let my people blow.
He says we would close down the bakery before we would complicate our beliefs.
Look,
religion is a real thing, obviously, and there are people that feel very strongly about same-sex relationships and marriages.
Oh yeah,
and it's against their religion.
Then let him close this down and let fucking Christ feed him. Let him close his business down and let Christ put food on his table magically. You did that shit with bread and wine and fish and all that stuff, whatever it was you did.
Yeah, the miracles.
How about this? You're not going to in any way, compromise your faith. Fine.
Yeah.
Close the shop and Christ will feed you.
Yep.
But why would you want to go to his bakery, knowing what his beliefs are?
Yeah, I wouldn't trust him.
If you're, having a same-sex wedding, why would you even go there? I mean, his reputation must be pretty obvious to that community, no? So... Yeah, let's say hi to Johnny in Freeport. Johnny.
Hey there, Jenny.
Hey, good morning. How you doing, guys?
Hi, Johnny.
What's up, Johnny?
Johnny.
Jimmy, I got to disagree with you on one point. How could you force somebody, no matter what their beliefs are, religious, non-religious, gay, whatever, how could you force someone to make something for somebody that they don't want to do?
I do have a thought about
that. To the back of the head.
I know what you're saying, and that was something I considered too, because I don't believe in forcing morality on people or any of that shit. Only because it's a business, and when you have a business in the country, you're not allowed to discriminate because there's so many people who have their individual prejudices. If businesses were allowed to do that, that would be like saying, well, then why can't Woolworths or any place just seat blacks at one part of the counter and whites at the other? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's really taken to the extreme. Here's my thing. If the people don't like it, and I agree with the guy. I mean, if he's against that, then everybody shits on religion because it's like the popular thing to do now. But my thing is, if this guy feels that way, why does he get dumped on? But, the guys, they're saying, oh, well, you know what, the gays, the 4 gays, the 4 gays. And I don't care either way. It doesn't make a difference. Go buy a fucking cake from Entenmann's. Who cares? But the thing is, you cannot force somebody to make something for someone if you don't believe in it.
Oh, okay. So
you know what I'm saying? Then for the guy to get shit on for that because it's his belief.
No, we're not shitting on because of his beliefs, dude. I don't have a problem with his beliefs. I have a problem with his action. I don't care what his beliefs are.
Religion a lot.
I do. Here's why I should. I shit on religion a lot because of stuff like this. Not because they pray, not because they go to church, not because they believe in Catholic charities or do all these things, which are a lot of great religious people. Because of stuff like this. When your religion interferes with you functioning as a business that serves all the population, then I have a problem with it. Would you have a problem with it if it was interracial couples and he didn't want to make cakes for interracial couples?
Of course. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying, though, it's the guy's right to do or not do the way he wants to.
So you would take...
I don't think you should force. I think the consumers, knowing that who he is now, should be able to dictate if this guy stays in business or goes out of business.
Okay, so should all businesses function that way?
But if you think about it, all businesses do function that way.
There's other things businesses do. They have those weird dress codes and things. And the reason why they have weird dress codes, they don't want certain people, those people, in their establishments. That's why they enforce some of those dress codes. So they're basically saying we don't want black people in this particular bar, or it's the truth.
Or
think
guys
about
with no shoes and shirts. They
But it's gone further. They've pointed out a lot of the stuff that hip hop guys wear, and that's against what they are allowed to.
Code.
Exactly. But they are a little more sneaky about it. But that is absolutely happening.
What kind of business? You don't have to say the name of it, but what?
It's a restaurant business.
Okay, hold on. As a restaurant business, I'm not trying to interrupt you. You serve all customers. Can you imagine saying, and I keep using interracial because what's the difference? That's a choice if you want to say it like that, to marry a black woman or marry a white woman. So could you imagine not serving a certain segment of the population?
No, but my point is, how do you know? Let's just say I was discriminating against people with one eye, just for argument's sake, to put that out there. How do you know? If I don't go out there and say it, and the guy, when I walk in, says, I'm not serving this fucking guy, I'll make it hard for him to order something.
Boy, you yell at me for using Woolworths as an extreme example, and you mentioned Cyclopses?
What if a Muslim guy? What if a Muslim guy was running a business and he was now being told that he had to treat women in a certain way? Now you won't see that happening, which is kind of odd.
I don't know about that.
They give a lot of latitude to the Muslim religion.
Are there examples of that? I mean, you might be right.
In this country, that wouldn't fly because if a woman gets disrespected in a Muslim place, you think she's going to open up her mouth, and rightfully so. She's of course going to say that. He's not going to be able to beat someone in the back room either. What I'm saying is, though, you don't know. This guy came out and said, because of my religious beliefs, I'm not going to serve these guys gay cake or whatever kind of cake it is. But what I'm saying is, every business owner, or a lot of them, I should say, maybe has a prejudice that they're not open about it. And
I think he's a shitty person, but it is a real religious belief. So that's a tough one, man.
Yeah.
And if he says fuck that, I'm not making these cakes, then I think the consumers would speak loudly, and I think it would really hurt his business in the end.
I totally agree with you.
But to have the court say no, we're going to force you to make same-sex marriage cakes, that's, I don't know, man. That doesn't seem right.
Then they should be allowed to discriminate against everybody, and they can't. And that's the way we have decided as a country. We don't want businesses. This is not just a harping on language or telling you how to think thing. You can hate gays all you want. If this guy wants to say, I don't like homosexual, fine.
But businesses do this all the time. If you own like a really nice restaurant, you see people coming in that aren't dressed right, you're not going to allow them in there. But there's ways around it. We're booked. The next, table will be open 3 hours from now. They have a way to make sure you do not eat at their establishments.
Yeah.
They're just more sneaky about it.
Yeah, but this was a policy with this guy, I guess, and he said, I'm not doing it. He's the one who made his faith an issue. No one else did. He did.
Right.
Well, it's my faith.
Right.
Gives a fuck. You have the right to practice that faith, and you have the right to be that faith and live that faith. But if you run a business, what if his faith said don't pay taxes?
Right.
What if his faith said, do things this way or keep a gun on the... You can't just do what you want because of your faith. You can't. You either serve the public or you don't.
Yeah, but...
That's a tricky one.
So I guess this sounds crazy. Can you?
I would love from the people out there other examples of this.
Sure.
Because I think it happens a lot.
So if gay firemen showed up at his fucking place and it was burning and they refused to put out the fire, well, we don't like it. Like that's the area you're getting into, and you can't start fucking living that way. If you run a business, you have to serve customers, even if you hate their guts.
Here's the thing, though. He's not saying he's not going to serve gay people.
Right.
He said, I'm not making gay fucking cakes. Now, if an interracial couple came in and said, we want an interracial wedding cake, he goes, I don't make interracial wedding cakes, but I'll make you a regular fucking cake. He's not saying he's not serving people based on their beliefs or the race or sexuality or anything, but he's saying he's not going to make specific things based in that.
I don't think he's saying that. Yeah, he's not going to, take care of gay people that come into his.
Get him in trouble.
He just doesn't want to make the gay wedding cake.
So if a black guy went in to buy a Cadillac and he goes, buy a car and he goes, and then the salesman said, no, I only show blacks Cadillacs. Hey, I'm still serving you. I'm showing you a car.
I'm serving you.
But I'm only showing you. It's like you got to give all customers the same level of service because everybody has prejudices and everybody has these little bigotries. We all have them. And you can't allow them to affect how you serve the public when you run a business in this country.
Sort of weird.
Let me say hi to Tim in New Jersey. Tim.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that if you go to a kosher Jewish deli in New York City, they will not serve you meat and cheese on the same sandwich. You can't have a roast beef and Swiss because it's against their kosher religious beliefs.
Yes, but that's not based on the customer, though. You're right. That's not based on the customer.
Oh, that's true, but that's just for your standpoint. The business needs to serve everyone what they want. They serve stuff with cheese. They serve stuff with meat. But as a Catholic, I can't order a Swiss roast beef and Swiss.
I want to tag what you're saying because I just remember there is a Jewish restaurant in our neighborhood, and I am convinced that they do not want me and my family in there. This place is well known. They have another restaurant somewhere else that did so well. They got one on the Upper West Side. It is a very Jewish place, and we've been.
You say that really loud whenever you walk in. That's probably why they don't like it.
And we've been there. I would say we tried it 3 times and have had amazingly shitty service.
Oh, wow, really?
Where everything took forever to come out and orders wrong and everything. Just a horrible dining experience. And it finally hit me. I told my wife, I'm like, this is a Jewish joint, and I'm convinced they don't want us in here. And when we walk by there, when you look in, you could tell it's all Jewish people.
Yeah.
But they didn't tell me I'm not allowed to eat there. But they made it pretty obvious in my stupid head that I should not go into that place and eat.
But if you want a kosher meal, like the guy said, the
food is amazing there, by the way. That's why we did try it a couple times.
But if you order kosher, Opie ordering kosher or a Hasidic ordering kosher, they won't make that meal for either one of you. They won't put meat and cheese. Like, that's the business they are.
Right.
They don't make a certain kind of meal for a Jew and a certain kind of meal for someone else. You know, I'm not saying that you can't do that, but you can't serve one person something and then another person go, well, I don't like the way your life is, I'm not making
But
that.
they're a business. They should welcome me, no?
You think they would? Sure, yes. That's just stupid.
I mean, they close down on I mean, this is a very Jewish place. They close down on like Saturdays because the sun's going down or whatever.
Yeah,
whatever,
Friday night.
whatever it is. I don't really understand totally.
Like B&H.
Huh?
Like
it's kind of like it's kind of like B&H, but
yeah.
B&H, they welcome everybody.
They certainly do.
But that is a very Jewish place, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's a very religious place.
Yeah.
They close on Saturdays at what, in the winter at 3:30 when the sun goes down.
I wasn't trying to order something from B&H, and it's like, oh my God, this is like a week long a holiday, and you can't order anything.
Right. I don't know how they stay in business.
They check your cock when you walk in the door. That is the best run business I've ever been in, though. Like, they are so efficient. Every employee there is knowledgeable.
I know.
They just are amazing.
Right. Let's say hi to Lori in New Jersey. Lori.
Oh, poor girl.
Hi, boys.
Hi, Lori.
Hi, Lori.
I think you guys have elevated yourself to like that Joan Rivers status. How come you never get in trouble for your opinion?
You just jinxed us.
Don't ruin it.
I think all of us, and we haven't discussed this in a while, but I think all of us are kind of looking over our shoulder.
Constantly
looking over our shoulder like, okay, what is it going to be the thing where the company finally says, enough, guys? You know, we bitch about this place a lot, obviously, but we also are very appreciative that they allow us to pretty much say whatever the fuck we want on this radio show.
It's also Twitter and stuff. You get a little nervous about certain tweets and posts on Instagram and everything. You start second guessing yourself. You choose your words very carefully, you know, depending on the subject matter.
But they have not sat us down and probably since we I mean, the Homeless Charlie thing.
That's it.
That was it.
Yeah.
And we've been on satellite almost 10 years now. We're coming up on 10 years, and no one has sat us down and said, you know, we want you to avoid this or not talk about this or don't do that.
Yeah, they've been great with that.
They've been great as far as that part of this whole thing goes. We just wish they would treat us better and get us a fucking much better studio spot.
And Lori, honestly, I'm like, as a comic too, and on Twitter and on this show, I try not to say anything I don't think I can defend, because I think Anna Rope just said it. You know the society we're in, and I always feel like I want to be able to defend what I say.
Yes.
So if there's a problem or when there's a problem, I can defend it.
I think we're coming across pretty real when we discuss this stuff too. Not like Jonah Hill on the Tonight, not like Jonah Hill on the Tonight Show where he's just lying to everybody, and it's obvious to anyone that has half a brain that was all bullshit last night.
Yes, Lori.
No, I think you're totally real. I absolutely love it and appreciate the honesty, but Anthony especially, you say things at times that I agree with wholeheartedly, but I wonder, like, how these groups aren't coming after you. Do you hear from your bosses that the groups have called?
Nah, I think that when it's presented as a debate or an honest, open discussion, it's a lot easier to defend. I'm not saying it doesn't get people mad, because that's the problem these days. You can't even have an open discussion without someone getting offended or pissed off about it. But it's a lot easier to defend what you're saying if it's presented in a civil way, you know, not just blurting out N-bombs, you know.
Thank you, Lori. I got to move on to Scott because he brings up a good point about businesses. Scott in Louisiana, go ahead.
Business.
Yeah, Jimmy, I agree with you mostly, but this one I disagree with you on. There's a lot of businesses that have signs that say we reserve the right to refuse service to anyone.
I think the mistake this guy made was being so obvious about it, because I keep going back to the same point that this shit goes on all the time, but they're more sneaky about it. But this guy was like blatantly saying, "No, I do not want to make this cake." He should have said something like, "Oh, you know, we're booked right now. You know, there's no way we're going to be able to make your cake." You know,
right?
We've had a lot of orders, and we're just not going to be able to do it. And I'm sorry, you know, lie to the guy, whatever. But his mistake was being so blatant about it.
And dude, and I'm not trying to be politically correct either, because I've had this same disgusting reaction or disgusted reaction when certain pharmacists who are religious won't fill birth control prescriptions,
right?
Because their religion doesn't permit. Then get the fuck out of that business, cocksucker. Like some woman wants to go in there and buy birth control.
Does that really happen?
Oh,
This is the first I'm hearing of this one.
It's absolutely happened quite
No
a
kidding.
few times.
Yeah.
So, but go ahead,
what kind of pharmacies? Like the big ones?
Yeah, regular pharmacists whose religious beliefs.
So what do you do? Do they say, well, I can find someone that can do this for you because it's against my religion?
I don't know how it's played out.
That's weird. And then, of course, as the store, you can't, you have to hire the person anyway or you're in trouble for other things.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm sorry.
But then now they're not even doing their jobs because of their religion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little tricky.
I agree with you on that. If you work for a pharmacy, yeah, you got to do it. But if you own that pharmacy, I think you should have the choice.
But should you be able to, and this is where, and somebody asked me a silly question on Twitter, but it is a question that's, you know, Maxi Pad goes, so if I went into business and if I went to that business and wanted a Satan fucking God cake, they should be forced to make it.
Ah.
And it's like, that's a kind of a crazy example.
It's a good example because it takes it to an extreme, but it still falls into the criteria.
But do they offer Satan fucking God cakes to anyone? If they offer, like, and I know people say, well, they don't make gay cakes, but if they make wedding cakes or civil union cakes or however you want to fucking say it, then you have to make that cake for everybody.
Why is it a tit for tat kind of a thing? Why? Because you make one, you have to make the other. So if you don't make the devil fucking God cake, you would have to make the God fuck the devil cake. Like why do you have to make both?
Because it's the same as why do you have to let both people eat at the same counter? It's
not really. I don't think you're refusing anybody their civil rights by not making their cake. I don't think you are. I think if you refuse to them any service, refuse them entry into your store, then you start infringing on their rights, their human rights.
But are you infringing on their civil rights if you say sit? And again, these are extreme examples. But if you say sit in the back of a bus or sit on this part, it's that separate but equal argument, which is I think Brown versus Board of Education. Separate but equal doesn't work. Like we've tried it already. Black water fountain, white water fountain. Like that separate stuff just it doesn't work. It's just one side always gets the shit end of the stick.
There are things that fall under your rights and other things that don't. And I think if you put up a sign that says, we reserve the right to refuse service, you still can't infringe on someone's rights to enforce your own policy.
Right.
But you can refuse to serve someone for, no shoes, because you don't have the right to wear no shoes.
Sure.
Right. You have the right to be served as would anybody else, I guess, but...
If you come back with shoes, they'll serve you. Or if you're not a problem in their store, they'll serve you.
Well, so if you're the gay guy and you just want a happy birthday cake, they'll serve you.
Yes, and he offered to make other pastries for them.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So that's why I think this doesn't fall into he's just, kicking gays out of his store.
There's another side of this, too.
No, he didn't kick them out.
We're trying to push everyone forward to think the same. Right. And it's just going to take time.
I don't think it'll ever happen.
Well, I don't think it's going to happen across the board ever. You're right, but I think enough time goes by. I think more people will understand what's going on in our society and change their ways a bit.
Yeah.
But what we want now is everyone to accept gay marriage.
Just because they're told.
Everyone to accept the fact that a lot of these words are very hurtful and no one should be able to say these words. We're trying to push everyone forward drastically instead of maybe letting time kind of figure it out.
Well, the thing also is nobody is apologizing for saying these words because they feel bad that they said it.
Right.
It's not the fact. The fact they're apologizing because they're not supposed to say them.
Right.
Which isn't the point. The point is supposed to be you don't want to say them because they're hurtful. And the false bullshit that's out there that people actually think they hurt and they apologize for that it's such bullshit.
Of course it is.
But no one ever comes out, by the way, until they're caught. I'm sorry, buddy. No one ever comes out and goes, hey, I said the word faggot in my private life and no one heard it. I just wanted to say I'm sorry.
I'm sorry,
it's only when you're caught.
Yeah, when you're caught.
And I don't agree with the baker, but I respect the fact that he's going as far as not baking any cakes anymore, and certainly he's not apologizing. So
I
respect that part of it.
Sure.
I think he's a shitty person.
Yeah.
He doesn't align with what I believe, but.
And I don't need him to think like anybody else. Like I'm not thought policing this guy. I don't care if he dislikes gay people. I honestly don't. I wouldn't care if he spoke about disliking gay people. And if he doesn't make cakes for people's weddings, then fuck him. Don't make their cakes either. Right. But if you make cakes for these weddings, then I do think you should be obligated to serve all your customers the same.
I think he's obligated to make them a wedding cake, not a gay wedding cake. I think that's the point here.
How about you just make the wedding cake and you throw in a couple of grooms. You know how a business will throw a couple like
the extra ones like buttons when you buy a jacket.
Yeah,
there's extra buttons. You just throw some extra grooms and brides.
You know, you go to the Chinese restaurant, they throw in a couple extra fortune cookies. So just throw a couple grooms in there.
Right, mix and match.
Or a couple brides.
Right, whatever it is.
Hey guys.
I don't know. I think the same-sex marriage thing is so new to people that they're still struggling with it and having a tough time with it. And trying to understand and trying to wrap their heads around it.
Someone says to me, same-sex marriage not legal in Colorado, so why would they try to buy a wedding? That's a good question. I don't know the answer to it. And the fact that it's not legal, I think, is kind of gross. But yeah,
of course it's gross that it's not legal. But if it's not legal, and then you got the court saying you got to do this, that's strange.
That I don't understand.
I don't understand that part of it.
Go ahead, sir. Sorry.
I was just saying, love you, Yankee motherfuckers. Y'all have a good one.
All right, Scott.
Sorry to keep interrupting.
I got to wee, man. I got to wee so bad, I just felt my body temperature drop.
Ooh.
You ever get that?
Yeah.
Got so much fluid in you, it's like cooling down your whole body.
Damn, like a radiator.
So we'll do the other apology after the break.
The
the yearbook thing, which was ridiculous as well.
Oh, that was when they were photoshopping?
And then we'll get into some other things, certainly.
Sure.
There was, the sailor that saw the plane go down. Oh, yeah, we'll talk about that.
It wasn't Popeye.
No, I know, Chip.
And Bieber.
Yes, I want to hear that. God, I want to hear that.
Me too.
It's time to tear him down.
No.
That's what we do.
Kiss his bottom.
Oh, Jesus.
That's what we do with our celebrities. It's time to tear down the Biebs.
Yeah.
He's not going to come back from this stuff.
This is a bad one, right?
Well, I don't think he comes back from this stuff.
Do we have audio of this one?
I don't know. Do we?
Doesn't exist yet.
Doesn't exist
How
yet.
does it not exist
Well, how do they know about
Do we
it?
have transcripts? Transcripts?
It's not out.
Not out.
Why were they holding back more?
Yeah, that's what they're saying. It's like, apparently somebody has this.
What scumbag taped him? Was it a friend of his that he thought was a friend of his?
Don't know. And also, the Stanley Cup thing is starting. And you know how, like, governors and mayors and all that have to do their bets?
Their little bets.
Did you hear the bet that's going on with Cuomo and Jerry Brown?
Oh, boy.
I'll tell you next. I know it's a stupid radio tease, but it's so douchey.
They're betting
everything is so safe now.
Second Amendment rights they're going to take away from their citizens.
It's a really weird one. The one that they bet that the loser has to kill himself.
That's a great bet right there.
We'll be back.
Oh boy, Jonah Hill just said some stupid shit on GMA. We'll have that audio in a few minutes.
Well,
now he's vowing not to ever say that word again.
Yes.
We got Ricky Gervais coming in today.
Yes.
He's a guy that doesn't really play by those rules.
No.
He doesn't really play.
Apologetic.
He's got to be careful, obviously, but not to the point some of these other guys are.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Sandy Kane's on the line. She got arrested again.
Poor dear. What happened?
Sandy Kane.
Hi, I got kind of unarrested.
You got unarrested? How does that happen?
Well, last Saturday, Sergeant Dietrich comes over to me. I was on the same corner with no guitar case because I can't even carry a guitar case after I got arrested for unattended package. So I looked at him and I said, "How is your unattended package?" Anyway, looking right down his penis. No, I didn't. But anyway,
Hold on. Let us laugh.
Yeah,
You're funny.
down, yes.
You're funny. Let us laugh.
Let's enjoy.
Right, go ahead.
Let us drink you in like a fine wine.
Oof.
A fine fucking wine in a fucking house. So I'm so excited to meet, and I'm like a little nervous, And he says, all the cops texted me about you. about that you were on the Opie and Anthony show at that moment. A lot of cops listen to Opie and Anthony's show.
Of course they do.
So, yeah, and he said, I don't anymore because I don't get it, but because my wife is pregnant and she's nursing her with her tit, you know. And so anyway, her titty is, you know, he has a brand new kid, so I felt so bad. Like, he has a kid now, he's married, and, you know, I'm trying to, you know, and he feels bad. I don't want to go back to pounding a beat after I arrested you, but, you know, so anyway, he said, they were all texting me, and, you know, I said, well, officer, I mean, it was totally, you know, a stupid arrest because, you know, it was a guitar case. I was standing right next to it. So he said, no, it was a backpack. I said, no, officer, it was a fucking guitar. I play guitar, and it was, you know, it was right next to me. No, you were standing away from it. I go, what is a big problem? So he just wants to say that he knows Opie and Anthony. He met Laverne and Shirley years ago downtown, and he's a big fan, and he was gorgeous. And you know, so Sergeant Ditcher came over to me, but it's too late, man. You know, you don't just arrest someone for no reason. So, you know, I've been there 7 years. You know, you guys, you know, from the beginning.
Oh,
I'm out there playing. I was there when no one was there.
Right.
There's a million buskers fucking out there. Now, I built that fucking neighborhood, and you're arresting me? Arrest all the phony CD people selling CDs over there.
Oh, I love those guys.
I love the CDs, too.
The CD.
And nothing is on those CDs many times. They rip
right.
the posters off, and there's new Asian people. Did you ever see those people?
What's their scam?
Yeah, exactly. Scam. They put like a bracelet on the person. They make them sign something, and they charge them $10. And these people pay it, and they're
but most people pay it because you're kind of scared and you just want out of the situation. Right. Wait, what is have you seen the Asian people putting bracelets on you?
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that one is. What kind of bracelet is it? What are they saying in the bracelet?
Well, it's like a beaded. It's like, you know. Do you ever see like
good song?
It's like little beads, motherfucker, on the fucking hands, and it's like big deal. And then they make them sign something, but I think it's also that they sign their name, and maybe they're worried or whatever. And man, they cough up that fucking money. They're all over Times Square, and so they're fucking arresting the bitch that started all of it.
The bitch.
I mean, do you remember that when I first went out, it was me and the Naked Cowboy, it was traffic. I was out there one season. They closed it. They're making a whole big scene over there. Man, everyone's entertaining over there. There's a million naked women out there. They're well painted. They're making fucking money. There was a Latin woman out there, the biggest ass in the world, with big tits were out Sunday, with booty on it, you know, and she's totally naked, a little G-string.
Yeah. It's a whole big thing down there now.
Oh, yeah, it's a whole, you know, before people go to the Broadway shows, they see all the buskers, Elmos, and all the...
Yeah, you know, I remember when Bloomberg opened it all up.
Bloomberg.
It was supposed to be, you know, oh, it's a great place for the tourists to go and stuff. It's now turned into a shakedown area where these tourists go there. They come from the Midwest and shit, and they are literally intimidated into giving money to these fucking people that are just scam artists.
Right.
Exactly, like the CD guy.
The CD guys, there's a...
St. Louis, man,
there's a gang of like 5 black guys, let's say, and they're standing there, and they have CDs in their hand, in these little plastic sleeves, and they give them to somebody, and go, yo, man, what's your name? What's your name? What's your name? And the guy will go, Bob. He goes, Bob, to Bob, you know, the fucking MC dickbag or something. And then he goes, $10.
Right.
And the guy's like, you know, he's afraid to say no.
And if you do say no, they go, oh man, I signed it.
Yeah,
I can't sell this one now.
I signed that shit already.
Right.
Oh, it's very
all intimidation.
5 black guys surrounding someone.
Yes, they surround the guy. I've seen it. I got pictures.
And he's arresting me.
Right.
What are you doing, Sandy? That's so bad.
For her tipped out. Let me tell you, I worked every fucking strip club up and down Broadway and 7th Avenue. I worked the Metropole, the Mardi Gras, the 49er. I mean, I've been at
the 49er. Man, the hell is that?
On 49th Street, there was a 49er, man. And so I worked every...
Wait, how bad was the 49er? That just sounds like
not as bad as the 120 blocks up.
She worked Nookie Thompson's joint.
I went to that Show World with the fucking Peep Show.
Show World, right.
Home of the Peep Show.
Yes, the fucking bait in front of the fucking screen, man. A nice Jewish girl from Jersey has to fucking do that shit. My father wore a yarmulke and a tallis, man, and he's fucking arrested me, motherfucker.
Well, you make a very good point, Sandy.
Right.
And he's saying, oh, and hey, man, I love him. I love him. Jim Norton's a pisser. I love him, man. And he's trying to be nice to me. But, hey, baby, it's too fucking late. And because you have a fucking quote and you arrest, I never had a record. Now I have a fucking record in a fucking cell, maybe. So,
man,
my hands behind my fucking back in a fucking police car. I did write a new song called I Got Arrested by the NYPD. So I have a new song. But, yeah, big deal. It's like, hey, man, this isn't fair. And, you know, Opie and Anthony, I was on the show, and they had me on. I've gotten some support from them. And you know, but I love them. I love them. A lot of people love them.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, come in and see us soon, all right?
Yes, you do that.
Did you get my pictures and stuff? I took pictures and laminated them. And
I didn't know. We never got them. Do we get them, Sam?
It's probably in the mail.
Sam is going to check. The mail takes a little while.
We don't really open mail anymore.
Downstairs in the mail room, and I just, you know.
Only weirdos send stuff in the mail.
Right.
We feel. So we didn't know you sent us stuff.
You didn't get that?
No. I mean, we probably will. Though.
He's checking right now.
You didn't get that?
Wait, this might be the cop that you're talking about. Hold on a minute.
Mark Furman, you're on the line.
Jay.
Yeah, what's up?
Are you the cop?
No, I'm actually the one who told the sergeant when Sandy came on and mentioned, oh, yeah, Sergeant Dietrich and everything. And I let him know. I went, hey, you're on O&A. It wasn't all his friends. I was like a week later because he wasn't in. And I saw him and I was like, oh, yeah, I heard your name got dropped in O&A by Sandy Kane. And he was like, oh, yeah, I don't even listen to the show anymore. But, that's pretty funny.
Oh, that's nice to know.
Yeah.
I don't listen to the show anymore.
Well, his wife is pretty.
That's certainly going to help our egos.
It wasn't all these people telling him. It was just, I just happened to mention him passing by a week later. And that was it.
Right. All right, Jay. Thank you for that.
All right.
We got, Sandy, your mail. We got a CD. Okay. We got the same... You don't have to keep sending us the CD. We have probably 20 copies of it now.
I know. I just want to thank you for playing my song, and I appreciate it.
No worries.
You know, when you get radio, the song sounds so much better. You know, and you guys.
Right.
Well, I got your letter. It says Sandy Kane's Naked Cowgirl Entertainment at the top. It's dated June 3rd.
Yes.
Wow, you spell thanks very strangely. THANKHX, maybe, something like that.
Triple X.
What?
Oh, triple X.
Oh, that's what. Okay. All right. It's hard reading your writing here. All right. So it's thanks with triple X's. OA show for playing He Taught Me How to Love. What a difference radio makes.
Oh.
Me and my promo man, Larry Weir, from L.A.
Get Larry Weir, I said.
Right. Heartland Entertainment are also releasing I Love Nick.
Yes, from America's Got Talent, dedicated to Nick Cannon.
All right. Sung to Nick Cannon on America's Got Talent. Okay. Would love to come CUM on show and have with play it. And have you play it, maybe? Check it out on YouTube. Again, thanks for playing my song. I have an NYPD story. You and your listeners, okay, good, listeners, would love to hear all about. NYPD and O&A show when I was on. They all heard it. Love Naked Cowgirl. There you go. And then some wonderful pictures you sent.
Yeah.
Yes.
One of Not Sam.
Let me see.
One of Troy Kwan. and another for another not Sam.
Well, what about me and the Opster and Antonio?
Yeah, what happened with that?
We didn't take any fucking pictures.
Oh,
all right. Well, I've got
fucking pictures.
Autographed pictures from Sandy Kane.
Let me see
for the boys.
Please hang this in your living room.
Okay. Thank you, Sandy.
There's a show that Jim promised me. A fucking what was it?
You weren't supposed to mention that on the air, Sandy.
Oh, yeah. Well, what about the show?
It hasn't happened.
Oh my God.
What do you mean, fucking podcast?
Forget it. Just I'm not even talking about it with you on the air. I mentioned something that I was going to try to do, but it hasn't happened yet. And I said, just don't say it.
So
and then
be
she
quiet.
it, and then she comes out and says on the air.
Just be quiet.
Just be quiet about it.
All right?
If I was going to be quiet, and if you were going to be quiet, we wouldn't even be talking right now. So, no, I'm just looking forward to working with Jim Norton. He's a very big...
Oh, my God.
Hello.
Do you understand anything?
He doesn't want you talking about it.
Sandy, for someone who's been around...
Jimmy loves surprising his people, so just be quiet. Please be quiet. Please be quiet.
What show is it?
Please be quiet.
Just be quiet.
Yeah, but listen, I have my own show on Manhattan Neighborhood Network.
Terrific.
There you
That's
go.
what we mean.
Just be quiet, okay?
Yes, okay.
All right. We got to let you go before you mess things
I
up.
love you, and thank you.
All right. Just
All
don't
right.
sue us anymore, all right? It
I
was
love
funny
you.
3 times, but I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done going down to the courts, okay? All right. I don't know why we even talked
Thank
to her
you,
after what
Sandy.
she put us through.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy Kane. All
Have
right.
fun.
All right.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Jesus.
Bye-bye.
Mark in Pennsylvania, it looks like. Mark.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
You guys are just talking about the bracelets. It's not just New York. We were in, my wife and I were just in Europe, and these guys that just walk up to you, they start putting a bracelet on you, and, I don't speak French, so it's hard to tell them to go away. But there's all sorts of scams that you see in France and in Germany.
All right. We all understand scams go on in all the big cities, but the point today is we have not heard about the bracelet thing. So what is the bracelet thing about? What are they trying to say? It's some religious thing, or?
No, they were just like trying to put a bracelet on you, and then I guess try to get some money out of you.
Yeah.
I didn't let them get that far. I was like, just don't touch me.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, Mark. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Jonah Hill had some more stuff to say.
Some more groveling, and groveling's not over yet.
Good Morning America. He realized, I believe, that he forgot to mention or do something on Jimmy Fallon, so he had the opportunity to do it on Good Morning America this morning.
Great. Good for him.
New movie, 22 Jump Street. That's the sequel to his hit with Channing Tatum, 21 Jump Street. And we're going to talk about the movie in just a second. But first, we want to address what happened over the weekend. You had a run-in with a photographer where you used language that you regret. You've apologized for what you've said, and you've said it doesn't reflect how you really feel and the actions you've taken and the words you've used before in your life.
No, not at all. And, I went on Howard Stern and Jimmy Fallon and spoke my mind pretty, as vividly as I could and as clearly as I could. And, the only thing I really have to add is that,
something to add.
Words can be really destructive. And this kind of...
If you allow them to be.
Yeah, words can be really destructive. Words.
Remember, words will never hurt me.
Sticks and stones
one of the
can break my bones.
First lessons you learn in school, but words will never hurt me. What happened to that?
I don't know.
Allow the words to hurt you, I guess.
Bunch of fucking babies
I think that shows weakness.
Yeah.
If you allow words to hurt you, I believe.
And this kind of defamatory language can have a profound effect on someone who's questioning their sexuality. And it's never okay to use that kind of language. And
never.
I personally vow to never, ever use that word ever again. And I urge everyone to do the same.
You learned something from the incident.
Of course, yeah.
As long as you learn.
And spreading the message, so that's great. Let's move on back now to the movie. On the heels of your...
I wonder if he's going to go back. I think they should demand... What he should do is demand... too busy, pass. I think what he should do is demand that Wolf of Wall Street be too busy, pass. Be re-edited. And that word should be taken out of the movie.
Do a Drew Barrymore. Get all the guns out of the movies.
Too busy. Pass.
She was able to. She was able to convince Steven Spielberg to get guns out of VT.
Yeah.
Remember when they redid that movie?
Yeah, they
it was all walkie-talkies.
Superimposed walkie-talkies and
where the guns were.
Yeah.
It's a weird society.
This is just.
He vows never to use the word again.
And I vow. He made a vow. He made a vow. What are we doing? Oh, this is disgusting.
And he suggests that we don't use the word either. All of us.
If I recall from his second apology on the Tonight Show, if something does come in my head where I want to blurt something out, I should use him as an example of what not to do.
Sure.
Yeah.
He passed on our show officially.
Yeah.
Because he's here again today.
Oh, is he?
Too busy. Pass.
That's what we got.
I'm actually glad, but it's just that's why.
Who cares?
Well, we just wanted to go through the exercise again to show you, what people have become.
Is it the grovel tour? Is he doing a grovel tour?
He's doing a town hall today here at Sirius XM. So he's back in this building in a little while, and he's too busy for us again. Even though we were there when other shows really weren't taking him yet.
Yeah. Then again, we did pass on him a couple of times, too, and he was coming back through.
Well, because we had a situation. But then we worked out that situation. But I guess we didn't work out that situation.
The groveling is...
Maybe Jonah's just goofing around and he's not serious about saying sorry. He's not serious about being sorry, but he's not goofing around. He's scared shitless what Hollywood could do if he doesn't go through this whole exercise that we've seen many, many times by others.
And I don't doubt that he's very close with the gay community or supports.
I think he's really close. I think he's really close to the gay community.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think, regardless, I honestly think he's got no malice in his heart for gay people. None. And the way he was apologizing was like he went out one night, got drunk, and went gay bashing, and had to apologize for it. It was not necessary to grovel like that and to present using the word faggot as some type of hate speech toward gays in any context. It wasn't. It's unnecessary.
What's the scene in This Is the End? They're all sitting around bashing each other with gay slurs and stuff.
Are they? Is that in that movie? Yeah.
And it was hilarious. Yeah. Maybe we could find that scene, too. But I guess it's okay in movies.
That shit funny.
We're trying to understand the new rules.
It is funny in movies. It's totally fucking funny.
Of course. Of course it is. Of course it is.
But now the words... When does it start to get into films where they just don't use a lot of language?
That'll be the next step. That'll definitely be the next step. I think it's starting happening sort of already. Just think back to movies like Blazing Saddles and stuff.
Oh my God.
Those movies you can't make these days. So it's slowly but surely happening.
When the fuck did we just decide to not be
to puss out as a society?
Just children. We're treating each other, grown-up people, like children. You can't say that. That's a bad word. Don't say that bad word. Remember when you were a kid? They would say that shit. Your parents, teacher, whatever. That's a bad word. You don't say that. Oh, okay. And then you grew up and it was like, this is great. I can say whatever the fuck I want.
Right.
Great. And now we're right back to, that's a bad word. You can't say that. You go out there now and apologize. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, I said.
Then
fucking children.
We sound like broken records, but then you go, oh, he apologized. Okay, I'm all right now.
All right.
Even though in your head you know it's all bullshit.
And what did you learn from this? I'm never, ever going to say it again. Never. Ugh, fucking kids.
Right.
You're children.
Yeah, you bet I am.
Oh, you're fucking fucking kids.
Jesus.
Oh, my God, Uncle Paul.
Jesus. All right. We kind of got to do a speed round before Ricky Gervais comes in here.
Yeah.
And a lot of other really good things going on.
By the way, most people on our listening audience disagree with me about the wedding cake thing.
Yeah.
I disagree with you on that one a little bit. But
I don't know where
but you know what? That's why I like this show. We could discuss this shit. You turn on Fox or MSNBC, you only hear one fucking side.
Yeah.
What did you say recently? Where the fuck did I hear Jim Norton say it would be so refreshing if Fox, when they were doing one of their discussions, and it was someone that didn't necessarily agree with Fox's point of view, where a Fox commentator actually went, "Well, that was a good point." You never hear that.
Or on CNN or any of them. You don't. They never admit that the other side was like, "Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't think of that." Because it's all about winning the argument, and that's all every event in this country is stockpiling information for the next argument.
You don't even need the other person there, because both sides just have blinders on, like la 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 la, and then it's your turn to go la 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 la.
Yeah.
But, like, where did you say that? Because I thought it was really smart. Jimmy goes, yeah, it would be just refreshing to hear someone on Fox go, wow, that's a good point. But anyway, and then continue to discuss or argue it.
They don't do it because everything is sound bites and quick little, the president said, back to you, your predictable opinion.
And you can't give an inch, or else, you're a traitor to your
party,
your
ideology, right?
Yeah, the channel, whatever the
fuck.
You're afraid of losing argument. That's all it is.
Yeah.
That's all Trayvon was. People did care about that, but it was like when Trayvon Martin was killed, immediately, it's almost like everyone swoops in and begins to pick through the story for their side of the argument.
Just for their side, right.
Like, well, the guns killed him and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but everyone, and this is like every story.
Never hearing, well, that's a good point. Damn, I didn't consider that before.
Just don't even acknowledge that was said,
right,
or anything.
We never look on the other side. When we're rifling through the bones of some story, it's always to pick the bones I can use as a weapon in the next argument. And any other bones that may look really appealing, like, oh, that's a smart thought.
Right.
Ignore it.
That's it.
And figure out a way to best it.
And just keep fucking regurgitating the half-truths and half-fact.
Right. Anyway, so the Stanley Cup starts today, I believe, right? Game 1?
Stanley.
Go Kings. Go Kings.
Oh, okay.
L.A. Kings. Cup bet lacks bite. So you know how the governors and the mayors and
they love
whoever gets involved. De Blasio said just lame. Did you hear the John Montone thing? Oh, no, you weren't driving today. De Blasio couldn't commit less to the Rangers in the Stanley Cup. Maybe if we can find that soundbite. It was so douchey.
Hockey isn't
I really despise de Blasio. I think he's a complete fucking phony.
Hockey's not diverse enough for him. There's a lot of diversity.
You should probably say that then. I mean, not that, but at least go, look, I'm not a hockey guy.
I'm not a fan.
I'm not going to play this game. I really don't care or know anything. But he was non-committal. It was really... I wish I had the exact quote in front of me. Maybe the boys could find it for me. But there's a hockey bet going on. Hockey fans can only hope the upcoming Stanley Cup Finals are more exciting than the bet between Governor Cuomo, here in New York, obviously, and California Governor Jerry Brown. If the Rangers win...
All right.
Cuomo can celebrate with an organic, lightly salted brown rice cake and a book on California history.
A lightly salted rice cake.
This is their bet. Wow. This is their bet.
Holy shit.
Should the Kings win, Cuomo will ship a tasty New York gift basket with products like chicken wing sauce, but not wings.
What a fucking pussy, just cunty little ceremony. Two spineless jizzbags. How about I'll smile at you and you'll smile at me? We'll smile at each other.
But who thinks in his office that this is okay?
It stinks.
It's horrible.
That a blowjob. That'd be a loser has to suck the winner's dick.
That is really a good bet.
You want to see Mayor sweating at a game?
Yes. See him supporting their team, yes.
A good ass eating.
Yeah, exactly.
A lightly salted brown rice cake and a book on California history.
That is really some terrible stuff.
Oh, it's terrible.
And a Taste New York gift basket. What's in there? Some dumb apples. What else?
Some
chicken wing sauce.
Some cheesecake. New York cheesecake.
Oh, yeah, a little New York cheesecake.
And maybe New York
Slice of pizza.
You gotta go to Brooklyn with the good stuff, right? Hey, get down there, Canarsie Avenue. Shut up.
Hey.
Give me some pizza from fucking, I'll eat from anywhere.
The fucking pizza.
A Statue of Liberty trinket.
Hey, a knish.
Right.
Yeah, cheese plate from the 9/11 shop.
Fucking Times Square snow globe.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking, Muhammad Atta cake. Fucking cunty gift shop. It's awful.
Oh, we didn't even discuss the cheese platter. They got rid of the cheese platter.
It's unfortunate because when I'm slicing cheese, I like to see exactly where the aircraft crashed. Stars. There were little stars where the aircraft crashed to commemorate the victims. While you're slicing your Gouda, you can see where where the people were killed.
Wait, it's on the actual cheese platter?
Yeah, 3 little stars to commemorate where the
Wait, what does the cheese platter look like?
I believe it was built like the country, right?
Yeah, it's an outline of the United States.
Outline of the United States, and then 3 little stars to highlight where the planes went on the cheese plate.
Okay, I got you.
Oh, my God.
2 stars in New York, 1 in
You can buy that at the museum. Used to be.
Oh, 4, yeah.
They took it out of the museum. You can't buy it anymore.
Yeah, which is awful, because whenever I'm thinking about 3,000 dead Americans, I want to just slice up a piece of cheese and talk about it.
Pretty tasty.
Wow.
That's where the Muhammad Atta fucking joke came from. The tasteless things they could put in that museum.
Of course. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's fucking cheese. Why cheese? Who cares?
I don't know. It's fucking weird.
People in a room thinking this shit up, and nobody in there to say no.
Right. Bieber, the Biebs. And also there was that other apology. I guess there was a yearbook in Utah that photoshopped clothes on broads and stuff, got rid of cleavage, right?
Got rid of excessive skin.
Excessive skin.
Not even just cleavage. They put sleeves on the girls. They just covered up as much skin as they could.
There was one photo where a girl said, I wasn't even wearing that outfit. Like, they just put her face on another body.
Really?
Yeah.
But where is this? Were they wearing anything outrageous?
No, not any pics I saw.
Nothing too crazy, and they still did this? Some Utah high school students who cracked their yearbooks to find sleeves digitally added to their tank tops and a tattoo erased say school officials have apologized to them.
The school official that did this was saying that he wanted to show these girls what they are supposed to dress like if they want to be successful in life. So it was a little lesson in how they should dress when they go out on job interviews and try to impress people. Not like the sluts. Here's the problem. The guy looked at some of these pictures, got a raging fucking boner.
Got titillated, right?
Had to jack off to every proof from every fucking student and said, cover them up, I can't take this.
Yep.
Because that's how it works every fucking time.
Yep.
Wow. They apologize, so.
Wow. What was the apology?
Why don't they just redo the yearbook so they fucking, instead of doctoring photos?
Right.
Yeah. Look at that. They put some horrible little fucking, she has a nice V-neck going.
Yeah. And not even really showing much cleavage, if any, right?
Not at all. I would have actually photoshopped tits on her, like made her nipples show, a big dick hanging on her shoulder.
They fucking dress her up like a school marm.
That's horrible. Yeah. Let's say hi to Paul in New York. Paul.
Hey there, Paul.
Hey, buddy.
I sell, Paul.
That's right.
That's what I do. That's right there, Pally. James Franco and Jonah Hill have a bet also.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, because one's from New York, one's in L.A. And if the Rangers win, if the Kings win, Jonah Hill's going to send a New York-style cheesecake. And if the Rangers win, Franco's going to send him a fruitcake.
Your phone crapped out, dude. I heard cheesecake.
Fuck you. I fucked it up. Not the phone. I fucked it up.
You couldn't have fucked it up more.
Shut up. You, dude, you fucking slowly meandered through that.
When did you lose confidence? Because we all heard it. We all heard it. When did you sit there and go, oh, fuck?
This isn't going well.
Because we all heard it.
In LA, that's where I fucked it up.
There you go. Piled through that one, man. Wow.
Wow, but he's good.
Right. What a disaster.
The Rangers win for next year when the Islanders kick their fucking ass. When they say we beat the Stanley Cup champions.
Indians.
No, you don't want the Rangers winning the Stanley Cup if you're an Islanders fan. Get the fuck out of here.
Positive in there, you
All
know.
right, because we want to be able to, laugh at the fact that they lost the Stanley Cup.
You got any funny jokes about the Islanders and Rangers?
Yeah,
Maybe a
the
cake.
Islanders walk into a fruitcake house and go.
The
fruitcake joke.
Yeah.
All right, Paul. Go recover.
People keep telling me to shut my cake horn.
Your cake horn. Shut your cake horn.
Yeah, about the cake story.
Ricky Gervais coming in about a half hour.
Yes.
Learning about Dave Brockie of Guar. Died of an accidental heroin overdose.
Oh, man.
How is it accidental?
What?
Well, I guess, all right, duh.
Wow.
Yep.
What the hell is
I didn't know he was a heroin user.
Yeah, the outfit kind of gave it away that he was doing something.
Remember how sweaty he was?
With the acid.
Yeah.
Remember he was sweating profusely.
I think we said it during the interview, what's up with him?
He's a nice guy.
He was a really nice guy, but I'm not trashing him. He was great to us.
Yeah.
He was solid, man. That just sucks.
Yeah.
So,
Let me see that. Scroll down. That's
what?
No, I mean up.
What?
Thank you. What the fuck?
He looked younger.
Yeah.
He looked 50.
No. Is that an older picture?
I don't think so.
Man, heroin makes you look good.
Yeah.
Heroin. Yeah.
But he has like that heroin haircut. That looks like a Sid Vicious cut almost.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
And then Bieber. More shit coming out on Bieber.
Yeah, what is he? Dropping more N-bombs?
Yeah, I think he's on his way out, right? Sam, he hasn't had a song in a while.
Yeah, I mean, now it's the time when everybody's like, he's the one people can gang up on easily now. Nobody.
They're going to pile up. He's done. I think he's done.
Well, this is where he would have needed a big song, or he would have needed an adult song, and he just can't do it.
He's not that talented.
There's some black shit coming out on him, and he needs some credibility from the black community, because he can't do the teeny bopper shit anymore. So
Is
he needs
Usher
a legit
coming to his aid?
I don't know.
I bet you this pushes him into the gentlemanly singer thing, because once he realizes that he's just such a fucking non-hip hop kid, this will probably make him try to sing like a little bit more adult.
Yeah, he's
House next door to me.
This kid's done. He had a good run though.
Yeah.
This kid's going to have some tough times, I think.
What did he say?
Bieber again uses N-word, sings about joining Ku Klux Klan in latest racist clip. A new video has reportedly surfaced. So where is this video? They're negotiating?
It's been viewed.
It's been viewed, so they're probably deciding how much they're going to pay for the video at this point, right?
Yeah.
Surface showing Justin Bieber singing about killing a N-word. Killing a N-word.
Killing a N-word.
And joining the Ku Klux Klan. The 24-second clip viewed by the British tabloid The Sun shows Justin Bieber changing the words of his 2009 hit, One Less Lonely Girl, to One Less Lonely N.
Oh, my God.
A girl can be heard cackling in the background as Bieber spits out the slur and mentions the KKK, according to The Sun.
Oh, no.
He's just being shocky and funny when he's a kid. Who cares?
Crazy.
It's unclear when exactly the latest clip was filmed, but was sometime after Bieber was signed by the Raymond Brown Media Group and was a rising child star. Bieber has not commented yet on the latest video, news of which made the front page of Wednesday's edition of The Sun.
The white man marches on.
One of Bieber's latest tweets was, "Be kind and loving. It's a great way to live."
Yeah, how would he know?
He needs... I think he needs the black community to continue his career, and I don't
Do
think
they support him at all? They don't give a fuck about that.
I know, but he's trying to break into that.
He was like,
look how he walks around and stuff.
When he was a kid. Now no one gives a fuck.
He's trying to break into that, and it hasn't happened yet, and this certainly is going to not help
he would
him.
need to be Justin Timberlake at this point, and that's not happening.
Yeah, his attempts at being badass is
embarrassing.
pathetic. It's so embarrassing. His tats and...
Could you show the picture of his bodyguard putting him in the Escalade?
Yeah.
Where he looks like a little kid?
Doesn't that shoot?
Could be my favorite picture.
That is a good one.
Those made of cotton?
Wow.
It's my favorite Justin Bieber picture.
Like that.
Look at this.
Yeah. It's not Photoshop.
As he's trying to act tough.
It's like a daddy putting his little baby in a car seat.
Oh, it's funny. Love that.
He's just making an asshole out of himself.
Yeah.
True.
I hate how he put diapers on him.
Photoshop diapers and a little...
I really hate how he's gone. Like you could have went one of two ways, and he's trying to go the tough kid way. It's like, you're not a tough kid. You're not tough.
I appreciate a pop song every once in a while, to be honest with you. I never got into his stuff.
No.
I know it's not for us, but with that, but there are other pop songs that aren't for us that are catchy enough where I go, all right, that's kind of a cool song.
Fuck yeah.
You gotta bring back the beep game. Just beep out girl, and we got the tape. We got the tape.
Oh God, I hate his attempt at being hip hop. It is embarrassing.
I didn't know this. Don't worry about it, Justin Bieber. We can move on. Fuck him.
I'm trying to get some jams.
There's another anniversary. 40 years ago today, the Cleveland Indians had 10-cent beer night. Oh, my God.
Oh, boy.
And were forced to forfeit the game due to drunken, unruly fans. This is the first I'm hearing of this. That is funny. You can't have 10-cent beer night at a baseball game.
Holy shit.
Now what? They cut off beer sales at what, 6th inning? Something like that? What inning? Do you know offhand?
No, because in the Legends section, Opie, I just can go walk into the bar area and just buy beers.
Right.
It's magical.
I love how they justify that they're being responsible with their beers.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, everyone's going to sober up in an hour and a half after pounding beers in the parking lot before the game and all the way up to whenever they cut them off, which I think is around the 6th
first inning.
Right.
10-cent beers.
And then when they cut you off anyway, they tell you beforehand that it's last call. And
so
you
just double fist
order a bunch of fucking beers and you can sit there and,
It's the theme. It's the theme of today's show, which is a theme we go down, we do a lot. It's all bullshit.
It's all just bullshit.
So the beer companies could say, look, we're doing this responsibly.
Yeah. It's more the presentation. It's more the symbolism over the substance.
Right.
It's just fucking bullshit.
Well, you think that people have drank a little more than they should have at 10-cent beers?
Yes, that's great.
Beers.
Is there a news story? I would love to see the news story because of the Cleveland Indians thing from 40 years ago. What is the other big story?
We also have the Montone clip that you were looking for.
Oh, you did? Oh, de Blasio.
Montone.
Man, I learned that I guess I liked Bloomberg because this de Blasio really just rubs me the wrong way. I think he's so just full of shit.
Yeah.
Disingenuous.
Yes.
I don't believe a word this guy says.
Yeah, he's one of these professional politicians.
So they talked about the Rangers in the Stanley Cup, obviously, because he's the mayor of New York City. And this is what he gave the people.
Live report from the Garden this morning, John.
Come on, Lee, just give this guy a beer and put him up in the blue seats.
I predict tremendous success for the Rangers.
Spoken like a rabid Ranger rooter. And Mayor de Blasio has been trash-talking his L.A. counterpart. Well, sort of.
I've exchanged very bellicose emails with Mayor Garcetti, and I think it's good that a truly professional hockey team will be playing the team from Los Angeles.
Ooh, bellicose. A little verbal high sticking there. John Montone, 10-10 wins live outside.
We love John Montone.
John Montone.
He did the walkover with us one time.
Yeah.
I wish he would do our show more. We're all big fans of John Montone.
John Montone.
Did you hear that?
Yeah. The team, one team will be victorious over the other team.
Right.
Team. Yeah.
But why does that sound still go?
Because it says news. You hear that and you're like, oh, I'm hearing some news right now.
They tried to stop using the teletype sound in the background, and it just, people didn't like it at all.
People lost their shit.
Yeah, they were like, no, it's the news.
John in Chicago.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, John.
Hey, you guys were just talking about the 10-cent
beer night in Cleveland.
Yes.
The Sports Center did a program, a little snippet on it, about a 5-minute thing yesterday. It got pretty wild. I guess the teams were going after fans with baseball bats and stuff. It got pretty crazy.
Really?
Yeah, you got to find it. It's pretty interesting. It was real short, but they gave you the whole thing on it.
Yeah, I want to know the whole story. Let's try to find it on SportsCenter if you can. Thank you, John. We'll look for that.
Hey, no problem.
All right, brother. Yep. Let me say hi to Dr. X in Mexico. Dr. X.
How you doing, man?
Hey.
Boys, I was at a game probably about 10, 15 years ago. Cardinals-Astros. They cut us off around the 7th inning stretch, 8th inning. But, you kind of know it's coming, so you start pounding them and pounding them, pounding them. I'm sure we got a little drunk before the game. The game went into almost 18 to 20 innings. I can't fucking remember. But imagine a whole stadium full of assholes drunk, starting to get hungover, starting to get ornery. Nobody wants to leave because it's an incredible fucking game. And about, about the 18th inning, just the aisles covered with puke, piss, ornery motherfuckers, man, and not a damn beer in sight.
So you sat there easily for another 3 hours after they cut off the beer.
Oh, no, it was longer than that because you know what happens? They start bringing in a left-handed pitcher for this one guy.
Right, right.
Out there, warms up 15 pitches to throw 2 strikes. Then they get another guy.
Oh, my God. So you have to start getting a hangover.
Oh. No, it was beyond a hangover. I mean, you're looking for anything. You're looking for some guy with a small, little side booze and none of that,
Right. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. X. We found the clip on the 10-cent beer, so we want to play this for the people right now.
Everybody, my name is Bob Golick. Now, you might know me as a 3-time Pro Bowler who played here in Cleveland, at the old Cleveland Municipal Stadium. You might know me as Mike Rogers, the RA, and Saved by the Bell, the college years.
Oh.
You also might recognize me as this guy's older brother, his muse, his inspiration, the man who taught him everything.
Nope.
Now, I'm here to tell you about 3 things that I love: Cleveland, sports, and beer. Now, when I was growing up, Cleveland made the national news a couple of times.
Cocks and balls.
Once in 1969, the Cuyahoga River caught fire because of pollution. 3 years later, our mayor, Ralph Perk, his hair caught fire. Everything was catching fire, except the Indians. They weren't that good. On May 29, 1974, the Indians lost a road game to the Texas Rangers. That game included a bench-clearing brawl and Arlington fans throwing beer and food at our Indians. Now, after the game, Rangers manager Billy Martin said he didn't worry about retribution in Cleveland because, quote, they don't have enough fans there to worry about.
God, it's the good old days.
6 days later, June 4th,
you can't say that now.
I
want to apologize.
Convergence of forces that would draw fans who wanted to stick it to Martin and the Rangers. 10-cent beer night.
It's brilliant. You could get a ticket in the bleachers for 50 cents and 5 beers. It was cheaper than the bar.
Since you were able to drink at 18, that brought a whole different and a younger crowd to the stadium.
God. Now, I was only 16 and I couldn't drink, so why go to the game? But we had over 25,000 fans willing to spend pocketfuls of dimes before the first pitch was even thrown. 12 ounces of cheap beer was about to start 9 innings of trouble.
Holy shit, what a brilliant idea to fuck with the Rangers.
Who flashed the crowd with his shirt up, and then the guys who ran across the field, father and son team, and they dropped their drawers and mooned the crowd. Had come out to try to kiss Nestor Shylock.
He's hammered.
I remember one guy jumping out of the third base stands with his clothes in his hand.
I'll never forget, he tried to get over the fence, and he had no 2 black socks, and when he came down, the cop had 1 sock in his hand and the other sock was on the guy's foot.
By the 3rd inning, the bleachers were loaded, literally. And trouble was a-brewing at the beer trucks that were brought in for the occasion.
They were just clearly understaffed. They had 2 girls working that. One was collecting the money and one was trying to pour the beers, and it just wasn't working. The tensions were rising, and they picked up one of the tables and just threw it right over the truck. And her and the other girl just walked away and left the truck there.
We just started filling up our own containers. And some people flip the handle of the tap and just let it flow right into their mouths.
By the 5th or 6th inning, there were, 15 or 20 people jumping out of right field stands and 20 to 30 people jumping out of left field stands and running back and forth in between innings.
The first half of the game, frankly, we're having a great time laughing at all those antics. But suddenly, started to get serious. They started throwing cherry bombs into the Rangers' dugout.
Stupidity. I must have had probably 15 or 20 pounds of hot dogs thrown at me at that first place. The one memorable thing I had thrown at me was an empty gallon jug of Thunderbird wine. I thought this is not all fun and games now. It's kind of gotten a little past the serious stage.
These kids were so drunk, the game really was not important.
Well, the fans might not have cared, but the team still did. The Indians had come from a 5-1 deficit to tie things up in the bottom of the ninth. But the beer fog had grown too thick. It was a powder keg full of designated drunks about to blow. One inebriated Indian fan lit the match when he came at Rangers outfielder Jeff Burroughs from the bleachers.
I just wanted to get his hat. I ran up behind Jeff Burroughs, and I had it in my hand, and then I dropped it. And so I went down to pick it up, and I looked up, and he looked at me, and I said, oh, hell. He kicked me right in the thigh, and he stumbled and fell down from the kick, and then the fans just really started pouring in.
Now there's another group of morons running around in the outfield.
Billy Martin said that he thought that Burroughs had been knocked down, and so he gets a bat and says, boys, let's go get him. And then, the Rangers are defending themselves against this mob coming in.
Now it's a full-scale riot. There has to be 200 people and more coming on the field.
Had it not been for the Indians players coming out to help us, it had been a real tragedy.
Hargrove has got some kid on the ground, and he is really administering a beating.
Really administering a beating.
One of the Indians players, Tom Hilgendorf, got hit with a piece of a chair.
Oh, this is absolute tragedy. I have never seen anything as disgusting as this. I haven't either.
I saw
with punches thrown, bottles flying, and 3 bases stolen, umpire Nestor Shylock took a chair to the head, stopped the game, and declared a forfeit for the Rangers. With the 50 security personnel overwhelmed, the Cleveland SWAT team was happy to pinch hit and finish the game their way.
We had riot sticks with us. We had to swing them. We had to use force sometimes.
That got control of the situation.
This is so
Everybody's gone except for 15 teenagers standing on top of the Rangers dugout, chanting for the Rangers to come out and fight. And so I went up there and asked them, what do you want trying to prove? Because the Rangers are gone. So some kid behind another one reaches out and punches me right in the jaw. He didn't even stagger me. He hit like a girl.
So all told, there were 9 arrests, numerous injuries caused by the melee, and the 3 bases stolen by the fans never were returned. So what do we learn from this? Well, an organist playing Take Me Out to the Ball Game will not calm an angry mob. People can change. Terry Yerkic, the 19-year-old who grabbed Burroughs' hat, grew up to become Citizen of the Year in Richmond Heights, a suburb 20 minutes outside of Cleveland. And 10-cent beer night is a bad idea. The Indians learned their lesson and swore never again. Nah, I'm just kidding. This is Cleveland, man. They tried it again a month later. I love this town.
Wow, they tried it a month later. I had never heard of this before.
That is a great story.
Yeah, if Sam goes to YouTube, there's great video of this.
Really?
Yeah.
We have to piss and
holy shit.
Remind us for tomorrow because we're moving.
Gervais is coming in.
We're moving into Ricky Gervais territory, but find the really good clips for tomorrow's show. All right?
Yeah, I mean it's just. It's great.
That plays like an SNL skit, doesn't it?
The way it just got worse and worse. And the guys coming up with more and more outrageous ways that they got hit or hit somebody.
Let's get them, boys.
And Billy Martin grabs a bat and says, let's get them, boys.
And you imagine you would be thrown out of baseball.
You'd be in jail.
In jail.
You would be in jail. Screw being thrown out of baseball.
Oh, my God. He grabbed a bat and said, let's get him,
and
boys.
there's a great picture because there's no video.
Yeah, there is. I'm telling you.
There's video from the fans or video from the broadcast?
From the broadcast.
Oh, so I guess ESPN, for whatever reason, couldn't use the video.
Yeah,
because they have
they're talking about like what they're gonna.
Oh,
it's great. You should just watch it right now.
We don't. I have to take a leak. So does Jimmy. So we'll either do it after Ricky Gervais. I don't know how long we got Ricky, or tomorrow. Definitely. Okay. I had no idea about this. Never heard of this
shocked
before.
You guys didn't know about this.
No, I never heard about this one. All right.
Before your time.
Yeah. Well.
Nice cotton shoes.
We'll take a break. I believe Ricky Gervais will be on the radio with us next. Stay there. Our pal Ricky Gervais in studio. We already had a nice discussion on Bill Hicks and apologies. So, too bad you guys didn't hear it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ricky plugged Eric and he's leaving, so that was it.
That's great. It's probably the best interview I've ever done. But, yeah, we're taking your questions to solve the world problems. We are 4 middle-aged white guys, so if we can't solve everything in America, then I don't know who can.
Absolutely. It's up to us.
First, gun control. That's an easy yes or no answer, isn't it?
It certainly is.
Well, not in this room, not necessarily. I mean,
we'll figure that one out in this country, I'm sure, any day now.
I think you can keep the right to own a gun, but you're not allowed to sell a gun because it's all about money. So that would kill the market, wouldn't it? They were allowed to give them away, but they wouldn't.
Just give them away.
Yeah. If they want to give them away, they can, but they won't. So you're not allowed to sell a gun. If it's all about the Constitution, let's keep the right to own a gun, right? But you're just not allowed to sell one. That wasn't in the Constitution, was it? The right to sell a gun. There you go. That's that one. What's next?
Wow. Apologies. Jonah Hill is apologizing all over the place today. How do you apologize and save face?
Well, we can't say anything anymore. You know, the words hurt. We've learned words
do hurt. They do indeed hurt.
Who are they? But these apologies, who are they to?
Yes.
Who are they to? Who was personally who was physically brought down a peg or two?
It's never a who, it's a what. It's an entity.
Yeah, that's
something that you apologize to.
I tell you what it is. It's either drumming up press.
Yeah.
It's news is new. Bad news. Celebrity gone wild is news. There was no celebrity today. Didn't do much. That's not news. A celebrity today just did what just normal stuff, and it was fine. He's enjoyed himself, and he was good at something, and it was good. Thanks.
Came home.
Right. Yeah. So they want that. That's that angle. Yeah. Then there's the. Everyone wants to say, the man in the street, we've talked about this before, right?
Yeah,
the man in the street, he's got his say, everyone's on media, everyone's a blogger, everyone's a journalist, everyone demands an explanation.
Yes.
I can't control my emotions, so I demand you stop hurting them. That's what it is. That's what it is. And comedians get the worst of it, of course.
Yeah.
Right, because it's like they think we go out there to undermine the moral fabric of the universe, as opposed to trying to be as honest as we possibly can in a funny way.
But you guys were safe for a while, but they finally have started coming out after
but
you guys.
You are
Radio
safe.
guys have not been safe for a long time, but now it's affecting stand-up a little bit.
No. Your stand-up cannot be affected because you are in charge of your own destiny. You sell the tickets. It's your club.
Right.
If you don't like it, you can leave. It's when you've got a job, like you guys might have a boss that says you've got to apologise or you lose your job.
Right.
That's when you're compromised. That's when it comes down to.
Right.
Do you know what? I will apologise. It's no skin off my nose. I'd rather keep my job. And the same with Jonah Hill. Jonah Hill, I'm 99% sure that he is not in the slightest bit homophobic, and he said something rash to try and hurt someone's feelings who was hurting his feelings or whatever, right? But he's worried about his movie.
Sure.
So he's got to apologise.
We just think there's a better way to do it. He's groveling, and it's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, I think he went a little too far. You didn't have to go that deep in the well.
What did he do? I don't know about this. I only know about the incident.
Well, now he's saying that he'll never use the word again, and he wants others to never use the word again.
He said that I will never again use that ugly word that.
But will he use it in movies?
I bet you. Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing as well. That's it's context. Everything's context. Louis C.K. has got a brilliant routine around the word, right? And it's not offensive because he's grown up and he's talking about its power, right? So it is context. You go around shouting it in a gay bar, and it's a horrible thing to do. Whereas if you're discussing it, if you're discussing the word or using it ironically or contextually, then it's different.
Sure.
I think
nowadays
they
don't
see the difference of that. Right?
There's nothing about context because there's a buzzword, there's a taboo, and people it's a knee-jerk reaction,
and they're offended, and that's it. They don't want to.
Even in a well-constructed, justified joke, because this is why people are offended most of the time. Let's get this out there. Most people aren't bright by definition. By definition, yes. By anything. Most things, you know,
absolutely
that's
right.
It. Okay, so all those people who don't quite get it, they're offended because they think they should be, and particularly with jokes, right? People are offended because they mistake the target of a joke with the subject of a joke, and they're rarely the same if the joke works.
Right.
That's the point.
The problem too is that even though people who do get it, and then there are the people who do get the context, and they ignore it on purpose because they want a launching pad for their discussion. Like they know what you're saying, but they pretend they don't know what you're saying, or they ignore the context on purpose, and that's where it gets dishonest and disgusting.
Well, that's what I like you on Twitter as well, because you come to the defense of people you don't care for, but you say, no, they were misunderstood. This is not fair. We've got to keep a balance here, and I sort of admire that. And that happens too much that there's a schadenfreude in society these days more than ever before. Okay, because of the divide, because you know, everyone wants to sort of be heard. And now they can be. Yeah. You know, they can be now. You know, it's everyone. You can read their toilet wall around the country. Everyone's a publisher. You know, with Twitter and Facebook, and that.
It used to be very difficult to be heard.
Yeah,
by
you had to write a letter. You had to bother.
Yes.
If you were angry or offended, you had to go and get a letter, find a stamp, and buy the. I can't be bothered. But now you can blurt off dude, no way, apologise, dude, and this spreads, and it's like, you know, you're public enemy number one.
And most people probably regret that they tweeted that. The old days, by the time, like you said, you got to the letter, you're like,
Well,
I got other things to do.
Most people want to reply. That's the other thing.
Right.
You know, and
everyone wants to be heard.
I've worked in sort of, you know, I've worked in a student union where there was a complaint, and if you wrote back to them, they'd say, "No, don't worry about it." They just wanted to know they counted,
that they were heard.
They were heard, and that's the thing. You know, it's this strange thing, and it's on the news now. They say tweet us your news stories. No, don't tweet us your news stories. What, that counts, does it? I just saw a bloke do a mugging and that. I think his name was Jeff. So we're looking for Jeff. We are looking for Jeff now. He's out there. It's weird. They do it on Vox Pops. I told you. I think it was last time. There's a thing. The British news that there was a train crash and they were slowing the trains down, and they went out to the people on the platform and said, let's see what the man on the street thinks, right? Let's not see what the man on the street thinks. He's in the street, for God's sake, right? And they said, you know, they went to like 3 Vox Pops. What do you think? So, well, it's dreadful, you know, I pay £200 a year, and now, you know, it's going to take me more time to get to work. And someone said, yeah, well, it always takes me an hour to get to work. Now it's going to be an hour and a half, so that's, you know, 3 hours in my day. And they went to a woman and said, well, I'd rather arrive at work late than dead. That was on the news.
Arrive at work.
That was a feature. She would rather arrive at work late than she lives early, but she's dead.
I'm sure her co-workers would much rather have seen her dragged than dead. What a joy.
What a
Judy's
joy.
been beheaded. How fantastic.
It's true. There used to be a professionalism about journalism and the news. And you watched it. It was only on a couple of times a day.
Right.
Here in the States, of course, you got Walter Cronkite and all the big names. It was a desk and a clock and sometimes a map behind them. They didn't need flashy graphics. And they told you what was going on because they had professionals collecting the news,
of course,
and presenting it to you in the best way possible.
That went to school for it too, by the way.
Yeah.
We're trained to do this.
Now
they had
they
had all day to just get one lousy hour of news. Now it's 24 hours of news cycles.
The Daily Show is amazing because the research they put into that show, it doesn't need to be that good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For a half-hour comedy, it doesn't need to be that good, but it is because they don't leave a stone unturned.
Right.
They really keep it fair, and it's amazing what you can do if you really bother. And all you have to be is honest to yourself. But as I say, most people, even though they know someone doesn't deserve that kicking, they don't like him for some reason, so they're going to put him through it, or at least going to keep their mouth shut because they want a little bit of controversy.
Sure.
They want a bit of excitement.
And we also like to get, like, with the Donald Sterling thing I've been talking to, it's all the same thing. If we're all willing to show our text messages, like I've been doing a thing on stage where I'm talking to the audience, and I'm like, how many guys here who are on a date with a woman have sucked a dick? And of course I put my hand up, not that I have on many occasions, but let's see how honest you people are. No one, of course, answers, and it's like, you see, that's how valuable your privacy is.
Right.
You don't want to be outed in any have that respect for other people or don't. And it's the same thing with these things that we say off the cuff. You know, you say something angry, and we vilify Jonah Hill, but, like, are all of you willing to put your shit out there that you say that in
Right.
of course not.
Yeah, of course. That's the thing as well. That, you know,
we're all lying to each other.
It's
That's what it is.
Pretense that they're trying to take down hypocrisy, which is the biggest hypocrisy in the world, because there's no one out there. What happened to, you know, everyone knows I'm not religious at all, but I do like that he was without sin cast the first stone. It's brilliant, because if we lived by that, there wouldn't be any news. There wouldn't be any slatings or public hangings.
But it'd be boring though, because no rocks would be thrown either. I love a good rock throw.
Yeah, I know. when they deserve it, I suppose.
If you were Jonah Hill, how would you apologize? Because we understand that...
I would never have said that word.
Son of a bitch. Let's say you did. A weak moment.
I think it's...
But how would you apologize? Because I think there is a way to do it, because obviously he has a lot to lose in Hollywood. You can't just walk around and say that stuff. How would you apologize?
I'd say, I'm sorry, I'm an addict.
Yeah, there you go. That seems
I'm an
to
addict.
have worked.
I'm a bad word addict, and I'm going to go into rehab as soon as. That's like sex addicts. It means you were caught.
Yes.
Right? Oh, I've got to go to rehab. Oh, you got caught. So you're a sex addict. What do you mean a sex addict? There's food addicts now. We're all food addicts. We're mammals. We eat food. It's ridiculous. Do you know what? This weird thing, this weird culture of you know, particularly with the rich and famous, right? It's like these people think, well, no, we've put you there. We voted you in. We voted you in, rich and famous. Okay, so we're your boss.
Yes.
So if we say apology, you have to, and then you can carry on being rich and famous. It's like you've got to be grateful and you've got to be apologetic all the time. And if you're not, they don't know what to do. And that's what I say. If you own your own labour, I think that's why the strength of a stand-up, the strength of a stand-up comedian over an actor or someone who works for someone is immense, because this is the tempting thing. The less you apologise as a stand-up and the more controversy you cause, the tickets go up.
Of course.
It's almost tempting to be, you know, controversial for its own sake, which to me is just as bad. I don't find that
right, because that's also fake.
Boring. It's boring. When you can see the people are this new thing in journalism called clickbaiting, where they write an awful article. Right, it's clearly an inflammatory nonsense article, like someone to write women aren't funny, and they do a big article because they know they're going to get clickbait, you know. So it's just based on nothing. But what's the thing I can say today to get some column inches?
Or the women, or just the headline is shocking. Women aren't funny, and then in the article it'll be about women, and it'll be like, and then so and so says women aren't funny, and they'll quote it, and they've made the headline so enraging just to get you to click on it, so they get the count.
Well, it's that thing now as well when they say who was caught with the nanny. And you've got to go behind a paywall to find out. Now, who is paying £1 to find out who? I don't care who was caught with the nanny. I don't care. I don't care about these things.
But people are doing
it. It doesn't interest me. Gossip just doesn't interest me at all. It's just it's horrible and scary. But mostly it's boring. I see these magazines. There's 1,000 of them. But I don't care who's having a baby. 200,000 babies are born every day. 186,000 people die. There's, you know, which one do we put on the magazine?
So, why is that?
Oh, I think they all deserve a cover. That's just me.
Wow.
It is frustrating because it is based in this this getting information about people. And I don't quite understand the fascination. Like, at least give up your shit. I'll give up my stuff pretty quickly. If people give up their stuff, I wouldn't mind it nearly as much.
What does this lead to, you think? Are we going to finally get bored with this whole new way of doing things?
No?
You don't think so?
No.
You think it's just going to get worse and worse?
We talked about this. I had faith at one point that it would reverse itself, and that it would switch back, and the pendulum would go, and it will never swing.
We have too many ways of invading each other's privacy, so there's such a temptation to put out tapes of people and videos of people. We're constantly on other people's cameras, so the second you trip up, it's out there for everyone to see.
We all got video now.
Yeah, so
we can't wait to use it.
I think it's access. It's not that we've changed fundamentally as a species or as a society. It's the fact that it's too easy. It's just too easy. Everyone's got a camera phone. You know. In fact,
you know, being famous in a sense makes you more careful. It makes you a lot more careful.
Because you know you're being watched.
Yeah.
All the time.
All the time.
I've said it before, the whole thing with the old 1984 Big Brother thing, and it was supposed to be some oppressive government that had cameras on poles and watched you, and then you realize, oh my God, no, it's us.
The people.
We figured out how to rat on each other.
That's
and
it,
just, the second something happens, everyone's arm goes up with a phone at the end of it to get the video of it.
Well, I feel sorry for teenagers growing up now, because teenagers, they put things on Facebook and it's there forever.
Oh yeah.
It's there for, think of your teenage years, were there forever. It would be horrendous. That's something you want to get over and forget and know that everyone goes. But now that it's not forgotten, it's like it's documented and it's held against you. It's like having a criminal record for things you did when you were 13. It's just dreadful.
Isn't Europe doing something about that? Isn't Europe doing their fighting Google on certain Google results that come up from years ago, so you can't use the stuff like you're talking about when you were 13? People were saying that it's affecting their lives now 10 years later, and Europe, they're doing something about Google's results.
Just what happened to forgiveness? It's just like this. Everyone's a court and a jury, and it's just dreadful. I think it's dreadful, but it is because and the strange thing is, everyone gets a bit of it, but being famous, obviously, it's like tenfold. Everything you say.
Oh, you don't have to tell us, Ricky.
No, do you know what I mean? Everything can be taken out, but everything is taken out of context, to be honest, because there's not time for them to tell the whole story.
Right.
So everything is
it's a soundbite
to a certain extent. Exactly.
They're all looking for sound bites.
But it's weird for me because being famous to me is like there is a God. It's like whatever I say will be known.
Right.
Wow. God is everywhere. I gotta watch what I say.
We are. It will. You've got to be a good person.
And now people do have to apologize for things they did 10 years ago. That's starting to happen
Justin
a lot.
Bieber.
Justin Bieber in the news today. Something he did when he was 15.
Just saying racist stuff at 15.
We used to all understand.
If you're culpable at things you said at 15, then we're all doomed.
Oh my God,
everyone.
We're all doomed.
Thank God, there's no video.
But it's like
we're all idiots at 15.
When we were younger, it was, if you had a picture that was something you didn't want out there, you just ripped it up. You ripped the picture up and threw it away, and it never saw the light of day again. Once you put something online, it's there forever. And someone could bring it back, or a letter that you wrote years ago, or that you received. You just rip it up and it's over with. Now, there's no getting all that stuff back anymore.
No, I know. It's just that people have got. I think the things that come out that weren't meant to come out at all, like things, you said it privately or overheard or spied on or accidentally or drunk, they don't count. It's sort of like sneaking into someone's bedroom, reading their diary, and then getting offended about what you read.
Yes.
You shouldn't. It wasn't for you to hear.
Yes.
It wasn't for you to hear.
Yes.
That's what a private conversation is.
Yep.
It's a mutual understanding that this is between us, and when it gets out, it's always going to offend, so it just doesn't count. But people can't see that, and even if they can, you're right, they want this Schadenfreude in their life because it makes them feel a little bit better, and it makes them feel that they've got a little bit of power, and it wants to bring even people they want to bring down a peg or two because they can. It's like a sport. It's really weird. It's really strange.
You build them up and then break them down.
Yeah.
Right? There's a story about Jackie O today.
Oh,
there was a time where the media left all that gossipy shit alone. Everyone knew what was going on, but they never wrote about it or talked about it. But you're not even safe from that because now all this stuff comes out years later because, times have changed. Jackie O was going to divorce JFK before the assassination. And supposedly she was paid like $1 million or something.
Joe Kennedy, the father.
By Joe Kennedy to stay because it was good for JFK for him to be married.
And she said if he brings home an STD, I want $20 million.
Right.
She said that. That was a part of it.
And this was something that was never going to come out. But now in this new...
But I mean, I read that, and I think, I don't know what to do with that information.
I know, you're right.
I don't know what to do with that information.
But the point...
I'd rather you tell me a fact about ants.
Yeah, sure.
It's like... It's something interesting.
But the point is...
They're very strong for their size.
It's like, it's so irrelevant. It's gone. It's like gossip about a caveman. This caveman had that caveman from behind. Yeah. I don't care. There's nothing I can do with that.
Yeah.
Have you know that program, what's it called? Who Do You Think You Are? Where a famous actor or actress links their
ancestry
back, and they always end up crying about their my great-great-grandmother was a prostitute. So? You know her. She scheduled genetic material. So does a chimp.
Come on.
Oh, my great-great-great-great-great-grandmother was a chimp. Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares now?
Yeah, a hooker chimp. That's what she was.
I don't care about my cousins.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean?
I want my kids to be hooker chimps.
But the point is that we're digging up dirt on each other for stuff we're doing now, currently. But now we're going back and digging up dirt from 40, 50 years ago. That's crazy.
Ricky's right on this, though. It's like, what do you do with that?
What do you do?
There's nothing.
You pass it on with and it's slightly changed.
Yeah,
so
maybe that.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, just she was going to divorce him because.
Well, the STD angle is pretty interesting, though.
Yeah,
20.
exactly,
she gets 20 million if he comes home with an STD.
And in those days, 20 million was a lot of money.
Oh my God.
Now it's what? It's one film. It's only a week's work. I understand.
Yeah, it's one film if you apologise.
Mere bag of shills.
Yeah, the Kennedy stuff is interesting because, like, apparently she caught him getting a blowjob, and you know, that was just a known thing, but the press kind of left it alone. It's only now.
That's why I bring it up, because it just shows how different it all is now.
And the fact that her private letters to a priest.
Yeah.
Right.
She wrote letters to a priest that were going to be released, which I thought was disgusting. These private letters, and the guy saved them in a safe. He never released them, and he
wasn't going to release them.
No. He's dead. He died in the '60s.
But his family got a hold of the letters.
Or somebody did, but now they're not
shot over some letters he apparently had.
Exactly. Yeah, he was caught. Fucking Xeroxing them and sending them to people with LOL. Right?
He gave some bloke's wife to STD. that was
Couldn't afford it. Didn't have the extra 10 mil. Wow, that's
yeah, whatever.
Enough. That's the world we live in.
But now it's just completely gone.
We solved that.
awry.
We've solved that.
Yeah.
So it's gun control.
I think we solved that.
Yeah.
The apologies. I think
the religious stuff. By the way, on Twitter, you're great because you have you're a very high profile guy, and I love the fact that on Twitter you're brutally honest and you don't care if you upset people. You're not trying to, but you say what you want, and I just love that.
Just being honest.
But people don't understand that if I say I don't believe in any God, right? And they say, why are you forcing your opinions on other people? I'm not forcing my opinions. You can unfollow.
Yeah.
You're following me. How could I force my opinions? And if I was forcing my opinion on you, what difference would it make to you? If your faith is strong, it makes no difference.
Right.
So what are you worried about? I told you the famous one, everyone's entitled to their opinion, so shut up about your atheism. And that just sums it up, really. That's you know, it's very strange that you can't, and I'm not trying to change anyone's opinion. I couldn't care less, if you believe it. I really couldn't.
You're just giving yours.
Unless it affects me. Some things do. And that's the other thing I say, for somebody who doesn't believe in God, why do you care so much? Well, I don't care about God, he doesn't exist. I care about the people who think he exists and want to stone me to death for being an atheist. That's what I care about. How it affects me and other people.
Yeah.
But I suppose the one thing I do think that why you should say that is that there are still people who are really oppressed for not believing in a God or the right God, and you want to let them know that they're not abnormal. There's nothing wrong with them. There's just no, there are 12-year-old kids who are told that if they don't believe in God, they'll go to hell. And you want to tell them you won't go to hell. Just believe what you want. That's the good thing about Twitter, I think. That is one of the good things about Twitter. It does, it eventually reaches most people. And there's rubbish on Twitter, of course, but there's rubbish in the press. More so than ever now.
Yeah.
More so than ever. And again, when I first got famous, I read things about myself, right? And they're all a bit wrong. Like 50% inaccurate. Not in a bad way, but 50% wrong. So am I to assume that everything is 50% wrong?
Yeah.
Well, probably. Because I know that that's wrong, intimately, because I know it by definition.
Right.
So everything's 50% wrong.
We would think that we saw that and spoke about it.
The shit they would say about us.
Anytime
in the press.
we would do something, get in trouble or something, and they would write shit, and we'd be like, there's so much of this that's wrong, and it makes you question everything you read.
Of course.
Because the story about some other guy you don't know, he's sitting there going, oh my God, that's half wrong.
But it was the basic info
that
was scary. Like stuff you could look up within 2 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, that's laziness. That's just
so what else are they being
laziness.
lazy about is the point, and a lot more serious stuff.
But when you say you got in trouble, You know, when people say, "Oh, comedian got in trouble for," he didn't get in trouble. He didn't get in trouble. Yeah. People who kill people get in trouble.
Right, right.
You don't get in trouble. You either ignore it or apologise if you want and get on with it. There's no getting in trouble for saying stuff and making jokes.
Oh, really? We
right?
set out 2.5 years.
They could fire you.
We got in trouble.
That's getting fired. It's not.
We got in trouble.
It's like trouble. You know, I think I know what he's saying.
I understand what he's saying.
Trouble is being caught in enemy land, enemy territory. That's in trouble. So, you know what I mean? Well, trouble is being thrown into a lion's cage. Now you're in trouble. Yeah.
Although I prefer that to sitting with human resources. The lion's cage is preferable.
So what did you do wrong? This is great. So what did you do wrong, and what did you have to go through?
Oh, there was a couple of instances, but
we've been fired a few times.
One was involved the church.
Right.
We decided to have a little game where people went around New York City and went to famous landmarks and had sex at these landmarks for point values. And
this was a time when you could do that type of thing on radio.
Yeah, so we had a couple, there were couples, a bunch of couples, and then we sent out friends of the show, you know, comedians and whatnot, to follow the couples around, and they actually had to watch them have sex at these various landmarks around Manhattan, Empire State Building, Macy's, the Hard Rock Cafe, all these things, and then they would get points like, oh, he's having sex with her. That's 3 points for
Well, we had the 2-point conversion.
And then if
it was in the bunghole, you got 2 points instead of 1.
Extra 2 points.
Yeah, like vaginal sex was 3 points, or whatever, and anal sex was 5, whatever it was. It was
and
an
the
extra
point
2
value
points.
went up with how more risky the location was.
Right.
So we gave them a big list.
Wasn't this our 3rd annual?
Yes.
We did it a couple times before this and didn't get fired.
Now, on the list, just as a shock value kind of
so
thing,
we can talk about
when we read it, we never expected anyone to do this, was a church.
Right.
A church. Any church. Whatever.
Yeah.
The phone line rings. Pick it up. A comic's at the other end. One of the spotters says, "We're here at St. Pat's Cathedral, and he's doing her in the ass." And we're like, oh, no. Now, there was that 7 seconds we had to hit the delay, which would have completely negated the whole thing.
But hold on.
Yeah,
this is radio.
Yeah.
You could have said he wasn't really there. We were making it up.
Even if you said
there was an arrest.
There was an arrest.
And the police wouldn't go along with that.
Yeah, the guard was there. But there was a point where the guard... There was a guard at the church that didn't want to deal with what he saw, so he actually told everyone, just get out of here. And one of our guys
I'm more offended with you having people having sex in public. That would offend me.
Right.
I mean, I think, get a room. The fact that it's a church or Macy's makes no difference to me, because I think they're bricks and Malta and that's it.
It's a holy place for some people.
On a slow news week, it made a big difference to people.
Yeah, they were not happy.
The Catholic League got involved, and all religious people, and of course the news is outraged. Every reporter reporting on it was like, oh, well, their parents must be proud. A disgusting story.
Right. We were supposed to be tarred and feathered, remember?
Yeah. Meanwhile,
they want us tarred and feathered.
They're reporting literally about murdered children, and they're like, and today in the news, an 8-year-old boy was killed by this man, blah, 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 blah. And now a disgusting story of sex in church. Like, you didn't even give that guy as hard a time as you given us.
Right. I know, and the really bad thing is that there's, you'd never find any Catholic having sex in a church.
Well, maybe they were a little upset that other people started getting in on it.
A priest has never had sex in a church.
No.
Too bad you weren't around to explain that to our bosses.
By the way,
he is without sin cast the first stone. Loads of priests go, okay, let it go, let's let it go. Don't go through the back there. Do not open that door.
We were #1 up and down the East Coast and some other places, and man, they couldn't fire us fast enough.
Yeah, that was a firing offense.
2.5 years we had to sit out because they didn't officially fire us. They
like on the bench.
They put us on the bench. They made us.
But did you get paid?
Yeah.
There you go.
They did.
Who's the loser here?
Jimmy.
Me.
You didn't get paid.
No, what happened was a little contract issue. I was new. It was 2002, and the new contract with my raise wasn't quite signed. So
it was in a mailbox, but waiting to be signed.
So you were unemployed for 2 years.
Yeah, I was doing. That's what I started doing Colin's show. It actually worked out for the best. I mean, it made me a much better comedian because I was forced to write topically. For
it was one of those situations like when you hear about Pearl Harbor and the communique was there, but the guy didn't pick it up and give it to that guy. That's what happened with his contract.
His contract was supposed to be signed.
You see? That's Jesus.
Yeah.
Made it work out for the best.
Yes, the Lord did help me.
He liked what you did, and he said, "Those guys, you know, I forgive them."
Were you ever religious, even as a child?
Yeah.
I was brought up with that. Was there a thing, an instance where you said, "Fuck this"?
I mean, I think that I like Jesus more than God, really. I liked him because he was a man.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
I liked him. He was kind, and he was a hero, and he helped the poor, and I sort of, you know, he was great. And the half God thing was fine, but I didn't quite understand it. I thought there was a God, and you've got to realise, to a working class mum, Jesus is like an unpaid babysitter. You know, if I can't watch you, Jesus is watching you. So that's the thing. And I thought it was great. And you know, I went to Sunday school, and I was drawing something from the Bible, like for Bible studies, and my brother came in. He was like 11 years older than me, so I was about 8, so he was like 19, and he said, "Why do you believe in God?" And my mum went, "Bob."
Oh no, she knew.
I knew from that moment.
It was a Santa Claus moment.
Yeah, that she didn't want him to tell me something. Why wouldn't she want me to tell me something? This is the discussion. She's got something to hide. You know, and they also thought that in those days, religion sort of mugged morality and goodness, and so you were taught that, you know, if you just believed in God, you were a good person. You know, so that's why she was doing it. And then I thought about it for about an hour, and I thought, of course.
At that young age,
there's all the different gods. There's all different.
But did Bob ever tell you?
There's no consistency. Nature's consistent. Nature is consistent. You know, and I know I've made my own mind up, and I was an atheist from about 8 years old.
But did Bob ever tell you what he was going to tell you?
No. He just. That's all he had to do.
Wow, I would love to know what it was, though.
Yeah, well, he was going to say, "Why do you believe?" All he was saying was, "Why do you believe?" He wanted me to think for myself.
Gotcha.
And she didn't want me to.
Yeah. Gotcha.
And I worked it out. I just worked it out from.
Did you feel bad? Did you feel abandoned? Did you feel anything?
No, I felt liberated. I thought, this is amazing.
Really?
I thought, this is amazing. This is incredible. And then I had one lapse. I remember, and I was staunch atheist, and I loved the world, and I thought, this is amazing. Everything makes sense now. Everything makes sense now. If you don't have to, all these conflicts and all these contradictions and all the different gods and all the different heavens and all the weird beliefs, and you know, nature is consistent everywhere you go. It doesn't matter where you were born, who your parents were. Nature and physics and maths are consistent the world over, and will be forever and ever. Okay, but I was studying for an exam when I was about 15, and there's this flower, right, that's got a little lever that when the bee comes and lands on it, the stamen comes down and touches a bit of pollen on the bee, then goes to another flower, and the female comes down. And I understood evolution, and I had a crisis, and I locked myself in my bedroom, and I was going, oh my God, how can that, and I just calmed down, and I worked out, I go, okay, yeah, of course, natural selection, and I worked through it again, and I came out, and I was fine. But I think that's what some people have. They think they can't, everything's too perfect, because they can't understand, they give evolution a will. They give natural selection a will, like that was aiming at something.
So you were looking at that and thinking, well, this has to be some kind of divine intervention.
Yeah, because it shocked me. It caught me unawares, and I think I was stressed. And
what are the odds that this is going to work like this without some kind of
And because it works,
help?
It works when you like everything else. It took a billion years.
Yeah.
And slowly, it just happened.
You also got to think of all the things that don't work, that we don't see because they're not there.
99
they didn't work.
99% of all animal species that ever existed are now extinct.
Right.
So this 5 million plus species, including some insects we don't even know there. That is 1%. That is 1%.
Like the rabbit on crutches never made it. That was one that just didn't quite survive in the wild.
He tried, though.
The goopy machine that we are is an odd thing when you really start getting into vision and the amazing quickness we have to respond to things physically.
We're just to
move.
We're an evolved machine. 3.5 billion years of slight changes that were favoured, or, we passed 1982.
But you also look at things like, okay, our eyes, work in concert with the sun? Like, how the frig does that work? The light from the sun, and then you start thinking of divine intervention instead of the evolution of the whole.
Of course, well, it's what here is what works. You know, it's
yes, because
that Douglas Adams thing he does this thing where some water, a puddle, starts thinking, I fit this hole perfectly.
Okay.
It must have been made for me.
Right.
And that's how it feels like. You know, our illusion of free will feels like everything was built for us, everything's perfect, everything works. Well, of course it does, because it wouldn't be around if it didn't.
Because if it didn't work,
But it's also a hard thing for me to, like, and I believed growing up, and it's like, I've gotten farther and farther away from believing. It's really difficult to believe anymore. Like, the more you read and learn, and it's just, like, hard to buy but the idea that I struggle with is ceasing to exist. That's what bothers me.
But why? But you know, you didn't exist for 14 billion years.
Right.
What did it feel like?
It was boring. Like, I just wanted to get in the game.
Yeah. We have this illusion for free will, for consciousness for 100 years, and then we're gone, and our atoms are spread out again. You know?
But it's almost like once you taste it, like, I know I won't even know that it's not there.
Of course.
But it's just...
No, that's usual. Of course we do. We love this. We love life. It's amazing. We're thinking, we're doing stuff. You know, some people are having sex in churches.
Yes.
You know,
some people are getting paid. Someone.
There is that weird will to live thing that is.
You still can't wrap your head around.
Again, that's built in. We need to have a will to live.
But how do you
die? Or we'd touch fire and we'd fight lions.
But how do you handle that? How do you handle your own death?
You live your life every single day as much as you can, but when you say handle your own death, what choice do you have? It's not like you go, you want to live forever? Okay, just okay. Anyone who wants to live forever on the left? Anyone who doesn't, you haven't got a choice anyway. So you've got to live with it. And I just think I mean, I'm worried about dying. I don't want to die in agony or lonely or
anytime soon.
Hung for stealing a lamb. You know what I mean? You know, but I think that, you know, pack it all in and then there's nothing you can do about it. Just, I mean, hopefully when I'm, you know, in agony and there's nothing I can do, there'll be a pill I can get from, you know, CVS. You know what I mean?
So how scared are you of it?
I don't think about it much, but I mean, yeah, if I wake up and I find a lump, I think that's it.
Right.
I've blown it. I've got 6 months.
Remember when you first... Remember when you first realized you were going to die someday?
Jeez.
That feeling you had, though?
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Well, it was funny because
that was brutal.
I remember my first taste of it. It might have been after I was after an atheist. I said to my mum, when you die, will I care?
Huh.
And I was throwing myself forward to... and she went, yeah, you'll care, but you'll be old enough to cope with it.
To handle it.
Their own way. And that's what I was worried about. That's what we're worried about. We see our own mortality. We think, oh, God, I'm going to lose that friend, then it's going to happen to me.
Well, isn't that where the religion comes in, really?
I think so, yeah.
Isn't
you want to see your family and pets again.
Right,
in
that's the big...
In this heaven where, you know, but when you break it down, what is it? Who is this? And there's this really strange... If I had one thing to leave society, everyone on Earth would have to be taught the burden of proof. They'd have to understand what the burden of proof is, because that's the argument I have with, on Twitter. They say things like, prove there isn't a God. Well, no, prove there isn't a unicorn. You can't prove the non-existence of something, and why would you? It's mental.
Right.
You don't need to. And there's other myth that what an atheist is. An atheist simply is someone who doesn't believe in a God.
Yeah.
It's not saying there isn't a God. You can go further, you know. So most of us are agnostic atheists. So when they say, you don't know. No, we don't know, but we don't know Superman doesn't exist either. So let's ignore all that.
Right.
And also, they're not mutually exclusive, because one deals in knowledge and one deals in belief. So none of us know, so we're all agnostic, right? And some of us choose to therefore not believe in a God, because we don't know, atheist.
Yeah.
And some of us choose to believe in a God despite having no evidence. That's the only difference. So we're all agnostic, so it just doesn't count. It's not interesting. It's about what you know.
I think it's there to answer all the mysteries, and without even a real answer.
Yeah.
It's there to give comfort to people, especially early on in civilization, when we really didn't have an understanding of things.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh, what happens? Oh, I'm not going to see that person ever again. No, you know what? There's a God, there's a heaven, it's going to be great.
Do you know what? I'm guilty of it myself. When my mum was dying, and she was dying for quite a while, she had lung cancer, 6 months, I knew that if she said, do you think there's a God? I'd have said, I don't know, but yeah, probably.
Right.
I couldn't sit down
for comfort
and at that stage, and tell her what, you know, because there's no good. And I think that's how, you know, I think spirituality certainly started probably well. It started out well. It started comfort or not knowing. Religion's something different. Religion is purely a power struggle.
Do you have a spirituality about yourself?
Yeah, only that I'm in awe. I don't need a God to be in awe of a mountain, or in awe of a flower, or in awe of this illusion of free will, or how amazing life is.
Do you think being good has any payoff in life?
Yes, it does.
And what is?
It's that I want people to treat me as I treat them, and it has its own rewards. Being kind and nice to people is rewarding. It's a lovely feeling. It's a lovely feeling to help someone, or be kind, or make someone smile, or make someone feel better.
If it is.
Do you know what I mean? Or heal someone. It's a brilliant feeling. You don't need to think that, you know, you'll be rewarded in heaven. You're rewarded now. And if you think that you're sent to hell if you're bad, and you're sent to heaven if you're good, if that's your reason for being good, you're not good. You're Pavlov's dog.
It's a very selfish.
I don't think there's a heaven, and I don't think there's a hell. But you know what? Be nice anyway.
Why would you spend 75, 80 some odd years sacrificing what you have here?
Yeah.
All that wonder and stuff here for some maybe payoff based on nothing but faith and this weird belief.
Of course, this is guaranteed. We know this is here. Let's make the most of this. Then it doesn't matter.
But you're supposed to sacrifice the mortal pleasures in order to
because
show that
some
you're
weird
faithful.
guy a few thousand years ago said so.
Right.
Some little weird desert dweller who hated gays, women, right, and wanted power and was angry because he lived in the desert and could only beat himself stupid every night, wanted to make everyone pay.
Right.
And he wanted a piece of it, you know. It's so obvious the Bible was written by men seizing power.
Yes.
It's like, you know, it's ludicrous. I mean, it
seems
laughable.
a waste to just use all this time.
I know. There's a great lyric. There's a great, my favourite band at the moment is Sun Kill Moon. And there's a lyric where he ponders, do you think there's an afterlife? Probably not. And then, and he's saying to this person who's worried about living their life, he said, you wasted life, why wouldn't you waste death? It's like, if you waste this one, you'll waste
then you'll waste the next one. And
what do you do when you're up there? What are the rules of heaven? What can we do?
Wow.
You can have sex in church in heaven, because it's whatever you want to do. So you can go and have sex in church.
So you can do that. You know what though? You'd be told that, but you wouldn't want to.
You wouldn't want to.
Right.
That's it.
There was always a thing. My parents would tell me things like that. Like, it's like, what's heaven? What is? It's anything you want. You get anything. And as a child, all I'm thinking is like
exist?
Christmas.
No, you can't have that.
Yeah. It was always based on something like Christmas, or like, this is going to be great. I could have anything I want. So what? Toys?
Candy?
Isn't it? There's no consistency. No consistency. Some people don't get into heaven. Wrong religions don't get into heaven. And you're the wrong religion. You could be, it's odd, isn't it?
And then, my grandma was there to greet me when I went to heaven. Did she want to be 80 years old in heaven? So when I greeted her, she would be my grandma? Or did she want to be like she was in her 20s and having fun? Like,
an atheist can't get into heaven, right? But someone who murders someone and then says sorry on his deathbed can be.
It's a little loophole there.
Some of the loopholes. It's full of murderers who said sorry. It's just... and their victims who didn't do anything wrong. No, so, hold on. So if you murder an atheist, he goes to hell. He'll have to say sorry, and you go to heaven.
Yeah, that's the way it works out.
That's not right, is it?
And all the other people you killed are forced to interact with you in heaven. Hey, I said I was sorry. You still have a fucking axe wound in your head. Like, yeah, I heard you.
What are you doing here? I said sorry.
I said sorry.
Like Jonah Hill. Said sorry, got to heaven.
Sorry. I want to deeply apologize for your murder. I will never. I'm going to vow to never murder you again. Yeah.
Well, we've done that. Okay, so
yeah, we solved the religion.
Gun control.
We didn't talk about Derek.
Yeah,
we should at least get the word out that.
What, right?
Because there's one thing you said that
Derek on Netflix.
Yes.
That's all you need to know.
Watch it now. It's out now.
There you go. Perfect.
Series
all right,
2.
back to other things.
And I wish there was more than 6 because it's like that's the frustrating part is you blow through a series so quick.
Right.
Like so, I made myself stop watching at 5. Like so, I have one more to watch.
Oh, great.
And there's a character that you remind me of. There's a guy who's a caretaker, and he's a bit of a prick, and he was saying something that was like, oh my God, that's Ricky writing that in. Like it was, he was talking about, oh, there's no such thing as food addiction. He was really funny. He was mocking the idea of food addiction. I'm like, or whatever. I'm like, oh man, that was Ricky fucking sick of that.
But it's funny, I made him the prick.
Yeah.
So, exactly.
Right.
Yeah. And I made Derek this nice guy who has good intentions. You know, and not everything he says is right, but it's with good intentions. You know, he calls an ambulance when he finds a baby bird. No, you shouldn't call an ambulance for a bird, right? But his intentions were good, and I think that's the point of it. But,
is Carl? What's his role? Carl Plinkington, or is that how you say his name? Plinkington.
Pilkington. He was.
I make mistakes.
He was purely there for my amusement. I put him under the wig and made him say stuff, and that was it. And after the series was finished, I told him that Dougie was based on Carl if he'd never met me. That annoyed him. So that's the role. So yeah, we forgot to plug. Well, we solved everything else though, didn't we?
Yes,
now the world's safe, and you know you can go and live your life.
Yeah.
And you're a wonderful,
Carl
beautiful,
amazing.
Evolved animal.
We really do good work
watch Derek. 6 episodes now on Netflix.
Yeah, we are. Let's be honest. We are a quite impressive radio program.
Thank you.
Just kidding. There's a lot of very tough things that they tackle in this show. It's like it's a comedy, but it's pretty hardcore. Some of the stuff that you guys do in the episodes.
It's set in an old people's home, and you know, old people die sometimes, and it's about that really. I was quite existential, but then so was The Office. But with The Office, it was about being 30 and 40. Right. Whereas this is about being 80 and 90 and all the fears that you have, and it's a group of outsiders, really, like us.
I love that in The Office. In my 30s. In my 30s.
Yeah.
You're 39. Well,
39 in my 30s.
In my 30s. Oh, just never wanted to.
No, never. And a prude. Women are dirty.
The not wanting to acknowledge the age because he wasn't going to be cool anymore.
I know.
But he wasn't cool anyway.
The midlife crisis for people who were never cool.
Oh, yes.
That's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the problem. If you're just not happy in your skin, you haven't done what you wanted, life didn't turn out, so you're desperate, you start, again, it's getting your own back. It's like you're trying to get your own back on the world. Well, I'm going to have a sports car then, and I'm going to have an earring.
Right. When you write something like The Office, were you ever thinking, like, how will this age, or how will it date?
I sort of was, yeah. I tried to take out things that were either terribly parochial, like a Big Brother winner, that you wouldn't even remember in 10 years' time, or issues that didn't really affect everyone. So I think that's why it travelled as well. Because,
very well, man. You can watch it now.
The themes are universal, aren't they?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Boy meets girl, decent boss.
Right.
I just wondered if you thought about it.
I do, yeah, I do. Less and less now, because you sort of do it intuitively, but you sort of realise that, and even though you don't pander to any country in the world, you want it to work outside language barriers.
Yeah.
You want it to work everywhere, really. Just because I think that we probably are all the same outside language barriers, roughly.
Yeah.
Roughly, we understand all the same things. Or not understand. You know, there's
a Chinese version of The Office.
There is. There's I know the guy who created one in Afghanistan.
Really?
It's called the Ministry, and
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's about a garbage.
That's right. Yeah.
And they make it a fictional country, but it's based on Abazar is the guy I know who actually did it, and his cousin Assad, who and he created one for Afghanistan. So this it's based on the British Office.
Yeah.
Well, it's a power struggle, isn't it? It's about small-mindedness and your little bit of turf, and it applies. You know,
very universal.
I think the best. All the best sitcoms didn't matter what it was. You know, Bilko, it was the army, but it could have been something else.
Right,
It could have been a bank. As long as there was ranks and classes and nemesis, it sort of worked.
And ugly personality flaws to exploit, which are kind of cross-cultural. Like, there's always going to be a shithead. Always a shithead that you work with.
I think so. I think, and that's the main sort of departure with Derek to things like The Office and extras. There, I was clearly going for flaws that can be helped. You know, ego, and here I'm going for more superficial flaws that, you know, things like physicality and shuffles and voice, you know, but really inside they're not so flawed, the characters, they're sort of nice people who've been dealt an awkward hand, whereas David Brent should have known better. He was just desperate, he wanted fame, he just wanted to be famous.
Well, you know, and he would say really deep things like, you know, get a new rule book.
That one, throw out.
Try to be cool.
But Derek, you got a lot of shit.
Guilty. Guilty. Just telling everyone, look, I know I'm guilty of it. I'm an amazing person.
Well, that's it. We all are, though. I think we've all got a little bit of David Brent in us. We all sort of love. We are. It's just that when we make a faux pas, there's a couple of people in the room, whereas he was doing it with a documentary team. So he was flawed every time, and you can't win.
No.
The Office was about the power of edit. In a way. You just can't win it. And it's the same. People, they do reality shows and they think this will sort it out. And it doesn't sort it out. It doesn't sort it out. It makes it worse, you know?
Well, the fact that you took issue to the fact that in the like, you know, when they edited together, I did a lot of great things, but then they show me tripping on the soccer ball and hitting my secretary in the face.
You headbutt one girl and you're a prat.
The fact that David would actually wonder why they showed that as opposed to his...
Think of all the days I didn't headbutt a girl. Like weren't they in?
And you got flack for Derek, like there were people that misinterpreted what you were trying to do, which I was really irritated. It's so obvious that it's not a mockery at all. It's not at all shitting on people.
Yeah, no, it's not. They assumed that it would be, you know, snarky and offensive, which is understandable because, you know, the stuff I've done previously is quite sort of, you know, cynical and there's a veil of irony. And they were shocked when I'd left that behind. I think the main thing was, like, doing the Golden Globes, they lumped me in with shock comics. They thought I was there to give people a bad day as opposed to make some people laugh, which is odd. Because, you know, I just don't think I did anything that bad at the Golden Globes. Not by our standards.
I love you.
Right, this room.
Your quote on the Golden Globes is great. I'll do it in a while. You're going to do it again, I'm sure, eventually.
Maybe one day, yeah.
You said the Golden Globes, I think people thought that my humor was mean, but it was very considered, and they weren't a room full of wounded soldiers, he said. They were privileged people who were getting honored. We're all in the same game. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's
well,
brilliant.
The thing is, you know, I had nothing against those people. I admire a lot of them. I know a lot of them. But imagine me going out there and making it a big schmooze fest and talking, hey, George, remember that time? I got to tell you a great thing about all Leo's charity work, actually. It's not, there's people at home, there's nothing in it for them. It's not a spectator sport, so I tried to make it one. And do you think they really cared? Do you really think Johnny Depp was wounded that I didn't like The Tourist?
Right.
You know? No. He doesn't care.
Right.
He has £300 million.
But they really have lost in a lot of ways their sense of humor about themselves. They like a very, very controlled situation where the humor is acceptable to the person being made fun of.
Right.
But you went out there like a comic,
it was
and like
great.
Chris Rock at the Oscars, who I wanted to hug after the Oscars, and just fucking made fun of everybody. And that was what you should do at an event like that.
It's entertaining to watch.
Yeah, it's strange, isn't it? Because I don't know whether they, I don't know what this new culture of you know, some sort of blasphemy to take the Mickey out of a Hollywood icon, you know, and I think it's probably because they think it's damaging, and it's just not. If you ignore it, nothing happens. You know, people can say that no one likes to be the butt of the joke, and you can answer back, and you know, some of it's unfounded. There's only one joke that I sort of felt slightly guilty about, and the reason I did it, I thought people would get the joke, where I went out there and there was Tom Hanks and Tim Allen present an award, and I said, next was 2 presenters. Our first presenter has a box office of $5 billion. He's won an Oscar. He's done and the other is Tim Allen. Right. Right. And the joke being, but who would stand up against Tom Hanks anyway? None of us would. Right. So it was for everyone to see, and I felt bad that whoever was coming out with Tom Hanks, it would have been his name.
Whatever it was.
I've got nothing against Tim Allen.
Right.
He's brilliant. He's done great work. He's, you know, and I did feel guilty about that because on the face of it, you know, it looks like a specific slight because it was his name, but. Who would look good against?
You're really
Tom?
talking about how amazing Tom Hanks' career has been.
Of course.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, they could not have sent Tom Hanks out with somebody who had who's less of a. They're completely opposite. Tim Allen hasn't done that kind of work. He's just done some comedies and you know,
successful in his own right.
And I did feel bad because I didn't want him to think that I have something against Tim Allen, which of course I don't, or any of them. I don't have anything against any of them.
Did he ever talk to you about it, Tim Allen?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I joked about it afterwards, but I can see why he was upset. You know,
oh, jeez.
You know, you don't want to be the butt of the joke. But it sort of wasn't. It was just another who was the butt of the joke.
That's a great line, Ricky. That's just a great line.
No, it works. It works comedically.
I understand where you come from, but that's a great line.
I didn't want anyone to have a bad day, and there were some other misunderstandings, like the joke I made about the special effects should go to the people who airbrush the Sex and the City poster. Right?
That's funny. Come on.
And Patrol said that was ageist. I said no, it's the opposite. I'm saying, why do you care? Why airbrush it? What's up with being 50? You know, it was clearly having a go at this strange Hollywood paradigm that you have to look 25 when you're not.
But the fact that she would say it's ageist, here's what's so annoying. That whole Sex and the City thing is popular because look at the older gals. It's almost like you're playing the age thing because it's fun and sexy and shocking to hear a woman of 50 talking like that. That's the selling point.
Right.
But if you address it in humor, you're a bad guy. And it's like, that's a bullshit argument from her
But it also, it just isn't ageist. The joke isn't ageist. It's having a go at hiding something. That's the target of the joke. You know, Mel Gibson, I like a drink as much as the next man. That was in the press. He got drunk and that was me welcoming him back into polite society. There was no, you know, I really did worry about every single joke because I didn't want anyone to feel that I was having a go at them.
The pressure is just to be funny is bad enough.
It's
now
bad
the
enough,
pressure to be funny and not offend,
hurt someone's feelings,
or hurt someone's feelings, not so much offend.
Well, I don't want to hurt people's feelings when one, the joke has to be justified, and two, you do have to live with it, and I do put myself in their shoes. You know, but I think if it's out in the open, you're joking about what happened. You know, Charlie Sheen getting drunk, and you know that's out there. I can't believe he would mind. You know.
Do you think a joke could be damaging to someone's career?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
How could it? You'd have to put something out there that no one knew, that was then investigated and found out to be true, and it's your fault. Right? You know, you'd have to be. It'd be like the comedic version of a rat. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm going to sing like a canary tonight.
But they do seem to take it that way. Like it, you know, hey, don't make me look.
It's out there. It hurts for a minute. It's out there forever. You know, it's there on Facebook, and people rally round, and people stir up trouble, and I do want. I've got nothing against anyone, you know, and
I think the majority of people know that, though. They
should know that.
Yeah, I don't even like the people liking it because I think that hurt their feelings. Because, do you know what I mean? I don't want them on my side either.
That'd be hilarious. You get mad at someone for laughing too hard at your joke.
Right.
That's mean, you motherfucker. What a psychopath.
You have a very narrow corridor.
Holy shit.
Okay. If anyone doesn't laugh, they're in trouble. If anyone does laugh, it could be worse.
Right.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Wow.
That's a tough spot to be in.
No shit.
Don't change though, man. This stuff's hilarious.
Yeah, and don't
overthink it.
It's great, man. We love having you. Obviously, we're running out of time.
Well, they're saying you got to go. You got other press.
Does everyone follow each other on Twitter? I do follow you guys.
Yes,
anyway.
I do.
Yeah, we follow you.
That was one of my finest days when it said Ricky Gervais is following Jim Norton. I was very happy. Felt a lot of pressure too. I'm like, oh boy, don't fuck this up.
Step up your game.
Yeah. The worst is when there's somebody following you and then you see they're not following you. You're like, oh no.
What did I do?
I keep accidentally following people as well with my thumb. When you scroll down, there's a new thing on Twitter on his phone. Where it's just like an easy touch.
Right.
And then I get DMs from people going, oh, thanks for following me. I think, who are you? Who are you? It's like that. I've let a portal into my soul. It feels like I've given some weird guy in a bar my email. Hey, remember me? What? Yeah, last night you said, what? Do you know where I live? I do know where you live. Are you watching me? I am watching you, yeah. Hey, nice shower. It's just...
Twat Lapper 71. Ricky Gervais follows you.
As always, what fun.
So
Ricky,
Derek,
thank you, buddy.
Derek is on Netflix Series 2, and I've seen 5 of the first 6. Unfortunately, there's only 6 of them.
Yeah.
You got to do more, man. The series are too short. It's really, really good.
Thank you.
And I blew through these 5 episodes in 2 days.
Did you see the dog one? The dog one?
Yeah, of course. It's fantastic.
Fantastic. I'll say the dog one.
It's just
Thank
great.
you very much. Cheers,
Ricky, we'll see you next time, brother.
Thanks, man.
All right.
The Opie and Anthony show is drawn to a close.